Fantasy on Bettor Sports Network.
Goff turns on first down, fakes the give, wants to throw, does left side, caught, touchdown Detroit Lions! Oh baby, guess who? The man who just set an NFL record on the Ross St. Brown.
Snap to Derrick, back to pass, pressure off the edge, into the pocket, lobs one downfield for Adams, at the goal line, over his shoulder, touchdown!
This time, Hurts gives it off, and he runs with the football and keeps it and takes it across the 5 and rolls down to the 2. And is he in? Yes!
He is.
Touchdown, Jalen Hurts.
Lawrence left, touchdown! Evan Ingram pulls it in, and the Jaguars strike first.
Nobody's having more fun than these guys. Join the party in pregame with Front Yard Fantasy on Bettor Sports Network.
Welcome in to Pre-Gaming with Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon Bravelos, and we want to thank Lions, Eagles Radio, and Jaguars Radio for that clip. Guys, I'm here with my handsome co-host, JL Garofalo. JL, how are you doing today?
What up? Good to be here with you, Simon, as always.
Hey,
I love
JL,
you, buddy.
I was thinking about the story from when we went to college, we went to Clemson together.
Yeah,
and when we were reading that manga in the chow hall, wasn't that great?
Yeah, that was
great.
fantastic. Yeah,
And
sitting in the Johnstone hallway, reading manga.
All those years that we went to Clemson, I don't know if I ever mentioned that my best friend in middle school was Kenyon Drake.
Yeah,
And,
you did. You did.
Oh,
Okay.
You nailed it, Joey.
Guys,
this is absolutely it's
Who's Joey?
Joey, the bit's up. I'm gonna have to steal this bag from
All
you
right.
right now. I'm gonna have to steal this bag from you. Joey. When I signed on today and I see you in there with the exact hat that I wear, the denim jacket, I was like, are you
Jean jacket.
freaking kidding me? He's just gonna show up, steal my job at the beginning of the show, and leave me looking here like a
I think
clown
I
in a
blew
pirate
my
outfit.
microphone out. I don't know how your microphone takes it every week, Simon.
I actually replace my microphone every week. Once a week,
I
I have
would.
to throw a new one
Big
down.
breath you took right before you started your intro, Joey, was epic.
Thank you.
We heard every second of it.
That was part of it. Yeah. All right.
Guys, we are here this morning. There's football going on already. Joey's dressed up as the most handsome man on earth. I'm a pirate. Jail's Little Red Riding Hood. We are celebrating Halloween and celebrating week 8 with everybody here with us this morning. We got Maria in the chat saying, hello. What's up, Maria? Welcome in.
Boy.
And Al in the chat with the spooky figures and the flex. Maria said, such a frowny Little Red Riding Hood. Jail, the headphones under the hood are giving you a sexy shape.
Oh yeah, big
It's a
old round head.
It's a sexy head shape. Alan, you're dying laughing at Joey's Simon impression. And Maria wants to know, tell us about your toilet takes, Joey. I mean, Simon.
I forgot to mention the pooping. That was the other part.
You're going to be Simon for one more second. What was it like filming on the toilet this past week? Is that something you're comfortable with?
Is that something you're comfortable with? Is
Yeah,
that something you're happy about?
I like the way that it came out. So
Oh, boo.
Leanne came home and goes, why is there a ring light set up in the bathroom?
No, dude, no,
Nothing.
Again.
No reason.
Don't
There's
ask.
no reason there's a ring light in the bathroom. I lied and said I had an OnlyFans so that I wasn't as embarrassed. I was like, oh, that's just my OnlyFans. Don't worry. I'm not
It's my
taking fantasy football videos on the toilet. That's not what I'm doing. Guys, going on right now, we already have this London game started. It is halftime, perfectly synced up with the start of our show today. But a real barn burner so far. The Jacksonville Jaguars in London leading the Broncos 10-7. 10-7 so far. Evan Ingram with the lone touchdown on the Jacksonville Jaguars side of the ball. But boy, was it a pretty one. And he should have had another. I know our friend Coop is happy right now watching Evan Ingram perform. Joey, is Evan Ingram now just an every week start for fantasy football? Like, is he in your lineups week in, week out? Because he's showing up.
People were saying this in the preseason that, Doug Peterson offense, they like to target the tight end. And so I think we are actually seeing that once again. I think Evan Ingram, you can start him, with the disappointment in like Kyle Pitts this season. I think Evan Ingram is absolutely a startable tight end.
Every single week. And it's not often that we find those guys, right? Like that's the lottery ticket. That's what you're trying to find at the beginning of the season. And Evan Ingram's developed into one of those every week starters. John Luke, you were maybe the highest on Travis Etienne of anybody I knew this offseason. You were disappointed when he went down last year. James Robinson traded to the Jets. He's now got this backfield to himself. And boy, does he look good so far this week. 11 carries, 94 yards, a long run of 49 that he broke off around the outside. How you feeling about ETN rest of the season?
I'm feeling fantastic. They're feeding him. The only thing I'm concerned about is him getting hurt. Just watching how much they're feeding him every single time. I'm like, please, Travis, please do not get hurt. I cannot wait any longer.
Stay healthy for the love of God.
Stay healthy, please.
He looks good. He looks strong
fantastic
out there. And they were talking about it on the broadcast a little bit today. Like, it sucks that he missed this whole rookie year, but he was given a year to kind of bulk up, get stronger as well. And I feel like we're seeing it out there.
And he skipped the stain of Urban Meyer, like that might have been the best move for Travis Etienne, because he didn't have to live with this like stink, just the stink all over him of Urban Meyer and a terrible rookie year because of Urban Meyer.
It's still there, right? Like we see it on Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is still having trouble washing off that Urban Meyer stank.
Yeah, he is. A lot of people still are not convinced. Dustin, I think, came on Twitter earlier and was probably trolling me. He was talking about how Trevor Lawrence sucks. I think a lot of people, joking or not, I think a lot of people still feel that way or still are worried.
Yeah. I mean, and don't get me wrong, he hasn't had a perfect game so far today. Threw that pretty bad pick down there on the goal line a little bit earlier today as well. But I still believe in Trevor Lawrence.
It was a stupid throw by him.
God, it was so dumb. I watched it.
He just didn't need to.
No, it was unnecessary, but I still have faith in Trevor Lawrence, like as a franchise quarterback. I think we're seeing him watch that Urban Meyer stank off slowly but surely. Joey, how are you feeling about Trevor Lawrence? Do you think this dude's the real deal, or are the Urban Meyer detractors correct on Mr. Lawrence and he's going to become an average NFL guy?
I absolutely think he's the real deal. I really do look at this year as kind of like his rookie year, because like you guys just said about Urban Meyer, he was just I don't want to use the C word, but he was a terrible detriment to that team. Yeah, the stank on the team. So I like Trevor Lawrence, especially in Dynasty. If I can get Trevor Lawrence as a Dynasty quarterback, I'm super excited to do that.
I have no idea what you're referring to, Joey, so I'm just assuming that you mean the only C word I know. In which case, very aggressive towards Urban Meyer.
I don't want to say cancer. I don't know.
Chupacabra is
Chupacabra. Urban Meyer's such a chupacabra.
He's such a chupacabra.
Okay. Would you rather Urban Meyer or Chupacabra have dinner with? Go.
Chupacabra.
Yeah. Chupacabra. That
this is interesting.
What? Like that's wild. No one would believe me ever. Like if I can take a picture with a Chupacabra, people will celebrate me. If I take a picture with Urban Meyer, they're gonna be like, "Why the hell were you hanging out with Urban Meyer? That guy's a creep."
Simon, you have a Chupacabra in San Antonio that hangs around the San Antonio Zoo. I've seen have you seen the footage of that?
I think that's a sloth, Joey. I'm not positive though.
No, it's like outside the zoo gates. He like walks around. They have video at night. Yes, look it up. It's like it's a very real thing.
Well, we got some people in the FYF chat while you're looking it up. Craig saying, "Morning, FYFers. Does anyone know what Russ cooked for breakfast or rode into the stadium on today?"
Yeah, he cooked a big old poopy breakfast taco full of. You thought it was refried beans, but it was not. That was
it was a poopy burrito.
It was a poop taco with there was some eggs scrambled on top. Know what I mean? There's the throw to Jerry Judy, a little bit of bacon. Russ looked fine, but then it's just a layer of poop on the bottom down there.
It's just a big old
layer. It was like that. Good.
We got Dame in the chat saying, morning, Dame. Welcome,
Dame.
in. Glad to be hanging with you. Glad to be hanging with you. Do you guys have an answer for the question? The second question of Craig's. What did Russell Wilson ride to the stadium on?
Big Ben, the clock.
Big Ben, the man.
the clock. Man. For some reason, in my mind, Big Ben is the double-decker bus, but that's just because I have very limited knowledge of London. And so in my mind, they all just combine into one thing. So he rode Big Ben into the stadium today. I'm almost positive of it. I bet my house on it. Craig also said, I believe in Trevor Lawrence. He exists. Step one, he exists.
Step one is existing.
Step two, throw a couple touchdown passes. Albert in here did have a question for us to start the day off, guys. He wanted to know Devonta Smith or Tyler Boyd, full PPR. That is a great question. Simon, Joey, where are you going here?
I'm gonna go Devonta Smith. I do like the workload for Tyler Boyd while Jamar Chase is out, but this game against Cleveland might be tough because, like Simon's brought up a few times, Cleveland's good against slot wide receivers. I do like Tyler Boyd this week. It's not forcing me not to let him start, but I'd rather start Devonta Smith. I love this matchup for him and the Eagles today.
Man, Albert, this is a really close one. This is one of those ones where like you're going back and forth all week. I feel like I'm with Joey though. I think I'm gonna go Devonta Smith. The temptation is with Jamar Chase not playing to throw Tyler Boyd in because of the increased workload, but I'm just gonna stick with the guy with the great matchup. What about you, Jay? Are you going Smith or are you taking Boyd with Chase out?
I completely agree with you guys. It's close enough. Tiebreaker is the matchup against Pittsburgh.
Yeah. There we go. Also, I see Better Boss in the chat. What's up, Matt? He said boo and woohoo.
Woo!
That's Halloween, isn't it? Boo and woo.
In true Simon fashion, I just pooped my pants. All right.
now the costume's believable. You have to have that look of shame, like I just shit myself, just right there on your face at all times. Also, Better Boss saying, "Be careful going to Grandma's house, JL." Have you guys seen that new Red Riding Hood commercial with like they have just the dog toy for the wolf? I think it's an Amazon Prime commercial, and it's like, "Be ready for any situation," and the wolf just wants a dog toy. They went too far. It's not playful enough for a fairy tale. It's got to be more playful.
This is super random, but I just found this in my Red Riding Hood basket. It's a picture of Benny on the roof that went viral. That's my dog on my dad's house roof, just sitting up there.
Happy Halloween,
just chilling,
just scaring the heck out of neighbors like as they walk by. Like, what's that bird barking up there?
What's that bird barking?
X Spirit XT had a question in here for us. I butchered that name, but wanted to know Kirk Cousins or Daniel Jones this weekend. Dale, would you be throwing out your best friend Kirk Cousins or New York Giants 6-1 star quarterback Daniel Jones?
This is pretty close. Kirk Cousins going against Arizona this week. Daniel Jones going against Seattle. I think I'd go Kirk Cousins. I'd go Kirk Cousins. The offensive points have just been there for Kirk Cousins. He's been turning that into fantasy points. Got Justin Jefferson, and this matchup is a little bit easier against Arizona. Haven't been fantastic.
I'm with you, JL. Give me some pieces in this Arizona game. I'll take Kirk Cousins. What about you, Joe? Are you going Kirk Cousins or Mr. Daniel Jones after his big game last week?
Yeah, I've got Kirk Cousins as my QB7. I'd start him over Prescott and Derek Carr today. So I like Cousins a lot.
Triple Cousins. That's not often that you get a triple Cousins on this show, but we got you, Mr. Scampers. That's not Mr. Scampers. That was Spirit who asked that one.
But I do see Mr. Scampers in here. Said, "Hi, everybody."
Hey,
hi.
Scampers.
What's up, Mr. Scampers? Our favorite chat cat. Adam in here had a question for us as well. Wanted to really rack in my brain on this PPR flex spot. Tyler Boyd, Brandon Ayuk, or Darrell Henderson. I'm already starting T. Higgins in a wide receiver spot. Was going to go Ayuk, but figured he'd be dealing with Ramsey. So, Joey, if you had to start Tyler Boyd, Brandon Ayuk, or Darrell Henderson in your flex, which one are you going with?
So the question we had earlier about Devonta Smith or Tyler Boyd, that one was a little easy for me to answer. This one's a little harder. I would go Boyd. I do like the matchup for Ayuk. They're very close, almost back to back in my rankings. I have DJ Moore between them. So, yeah. But I would go Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, I would go Tyler Boyd as well. PPR going against Cleveland. It's the middle of the pack defense or matchup for Tyler Boyd this week. I'm okay if you want to go Brandon Ayuk. I understand the concerns with Ramsey shadowing him. I think they're still going to find a way to get Brandon Ayuk worked into this game. They got CMC in the backfield now, so Rams are going to have to deal with that. They're going to have to deal with CMC, and I think that's going to free up Brandon Ayuk a bit.
You know, this is where I'll go Tyler Boyd, I think. I like Tyler Boyd. And Joey, we mentioned that Cleveland's good against the slot, but with Jamar Chase out, I imagine we'll see Tyler Boyd line up in different places on the field as well. They'll get him going. They have to get him going in this game in order for this offense to succeed probably. So I'll throw Tyler Boyd in there. But that's another close one, Adam. Guys, we got some news going into this week that we need to hit, that you guys need to know about in order to succeed this week. Returning to game day action, we have DeAndre Swift coming back this week, ready to go. Joey, are you plugging DeAndre Swift in? No questions asked.
Yeah, so I'm starting him today. I'm going to temper my expectations because it's the first game back from the injury. But season long, I really like DeAndre. I almost said Devonta Smith. That's on my brain. I like DeAndre Swift a lot. Even with the work that Jamal Williams has been getting this year with 12 carries, almost a game, Swift still has an RB3 and an RB7 week. So Swift is great to fire up this week. I just wouldn't really expect a top 12 performance out of him.
That's how I'm viewing it as well. If you've got him on your team, you got to play him. Like, he's one of those names. I know it sucks to play a player coming back from injury, but I'm plugging him in. He's good enough to overcome that. JL, I know oftentimes you're fairly conservative with a player whenever they come back from injury, and it works in your benefit more times than not. I remember when J.K. Dobbins came back, you were more hesitant to plug him in. Are you feeling the same way about DeAndre Swift this week?
Not as much about Swift. I mean, the way the situation is with running backs, you have to take what you got. DeAndre Swift, you took him in the top rounds. He's good when he plays. I'm playing him this week. If he's playing, which by all reports, we're expecting him to play this week, I'm throwing him in my lineup.
There we go. Also returning to action this week, we've got Randall Cobb, Elijah Moore, and Van Jefferson. Joey, any interest in those three guys? Are you plugging them into your fantasy lineup since they're coming back? Maybe some Van Jefferson?
Yeah, so Van Jefferson, somebody that I slotted in a lot of IR spots the last few weeks. And I'm firing him up in a couple leagues to see what happens today. Once again, first game back, I'm not expecting much. But listen, I hate to say it, JL as well was huge, high on Al Robinson this preseason, and he hasn't really turned up. Last few weeks has been okay. Maybe it's Van Jefferson time. So definitely, if he's on the waiver wire, worth picking up this week, especially if he has a good game.
I snuck him onto a couple lineups just to see, because we've seen him be fantasy relevant in the past. He's coming back, and this offense needs something going. Jamar Chase will be out this week, inactive, but we had some good news. At least he will not be placed on IR. They're expecting him to come back in 4 to 6 weeks. They've got that week 10 bye, so it's looking like he will be back closer to the front end of that time frame, that 4-week period, than the back end of that time frame, because they didn't put him on IR. So I know we're sad that Jamar Chase is out, but that's good news considering where it could have gone. He will not be placed on the IR.
With that kind of news, that makes me look at Jamar Chase as a definite trade target. If you're the Jamar Chase manager in your league is like a little under 500, maybe try to make the move so they have some for the next few weeks, and then you've got somebody great for the playoffs.
Checks out. Also inactive this week, James Conner is inactive, so you can fire up Eno Benjamin one more time. Full confidence, Joey, with Eno Benjamin?
Yeah, he looked great last week, and I think he's earned a role on this team too. Last year, the Cardinals were 7-1 when they did the tandem with James Conner and Chase Edmonds. So I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona got back to that, to be honest. So I like Eno Benjamin this week, and I like him the rest of the season as well to have some work, even when Conner's back.
Yeah, he looked great last week. I think we just keep plugging him in while Conner's out, and then hold on to him though. Don't just drop him as soon as Conner's back. See what that role is. I think that's a great point, Joe.
I got a lot of questions this week. Should I drop Eno Benjamin? Like, no, don't
hold
do
on
it.
to him. Matt Ryan is out this week. Sam Ehlinger getting the start. Sam Ehlinger is going to get the start this week. Joey, does that affect any of these Colts receiving options for you?
It downgraded Michael Pittman for me. From like, I was having him as a top 15 receiver pretty much every week this season because I just believe in the talent. But I have him, I believe, outside my top 25 right now. I need to see from Ehlinger what he looks like today. And it's a downgrade for me for pretty much every pass catcher. I think we'll see a lot of Jonathan Taylor today.
Absolutely. Other players that are inactive today, Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry still out. Corey Davis will not be playing. Jahan Dotson and Deebo Samuel also inactive. And then Alan Lazard is inactive. I know he's been a fantasy stalwart for people over the past couple weeks, so you're going to have to find another option if you had Alan Lazard in your lineup. And then players that aren't playing this week, just because they're on bye. Remember, Chargers and Chiefs are on bye as well. So make sure if you have any of those players in your lineups, you've got Patrick Mahomes, Juju Smith-Schuster, Travis Kelce, go in there right now and make sure you have someone else starting for you. Don't want to give up that 0. There's a bunch of players sitting on the trading block this week, and the trade deadline is coming up on Tuesday, I believe, of this week. So any trades that are going to happen are going to have to happen soon. Kareem Hunt has Cleveland has granted the trade request, so Kareem Hunt is looking to be traded. Joey, whenever we're looking at these players that are potentially being traded, do you view that as maybe this team is going to showcase them and they get extra work, or do you view it as a downgrade? Like maybe this team is going to try to keep them healthy to protect their trade asset.
It's weird. Like I always look at it honestly as a case-by-case basis, and I realize that's a cop-out. But with Kareem Hunt, I mean, I feel like the Browns are in a must-win situation, so they might showcase him this week because they need to use his talent while they have it. So it's
but maybe
like a case.
like Brandon Cooks, who is also Houston says they're open to trading Brandon Cooks. That's a team that doesn't need a win. Would you maybe look at that one differently?
Yeah, then I think you'll see him being showcased a little bit.
Absolutely. Denver's fielding calls about Bradley Chubb. We're watching him play right now, but Chubb wants to stay, so we'll keep our eyes on that. And then potentially New England could be trading Kendrick Bourne or Nelson Aguilar as well. One player that we've been waiting on trade news from was Cam Akers, but we had a slight update that he will be rejoining the Rams if he is not traded. So there were rumors going around that maybe he would get cut. He didn't want to be there. This is the second week in a row inactive for personal reasons, but Sean McVay came out and said if he's not traded before the deadline, he's rejoining the Rams, and there's still a role for him to play in this offense. Yeah. So, Joey, is this a player that you're still rostering in fantasy, or are you moving on from Mr. Cam Akers?
It's hard because I don't feel like I can drop Akers because I feel like there is talent there. There's opportunity there, but I'm absolutely wanting to get him off my teams. I never wanted him on my teams to begin with this season. I think the best case scenario for him going forth, if he stays with the Rams, is he's in a timeshare. So I don't want him on my teams. If I can trade him off, I will, but I can't necessarily drop him.
Yeah, it's Joe, you talked about it earlier whenever we were talking about DeAndre Swift with running backs. Like, you start what you have to, even if it's not perfect. They're coming back off injury. And sometimes like Cam Akers feels like one of those running backs where you just can't drop him. Like what if Darrell Henderson goes down? What if he does get traded? Like running backs are just too valuable and he's too good of a player. Not even that he's a world beater at the position to drop off to waiver wires. Or is this a situation of people talk about dropping bombs on the waiver wire? Like you let someone else roster player, it's a player someone else is going to pick up, but it's just going to clog their bench. Is Cam Akers a waiver wire bomb, a grenade that you drop out there for someone else to put on their roster?
It all depends on your league and your team, right? Like this, I have Cam Akers in a few leagues where I had to draft him. I felt like I was off Cam Akers most of the offseason, but like Scott Fishbowl, for instance, I have him. In that league, I'm not dropping him. I can't drop Cam Akers. If he gets traded to another team, you have to, it's easy to reason out that team is probably planning to use him. And so until the trade deadline hits, I'm just holding Cam Akers.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you, JL. That's probably how you need to play it. In other news, we have another rookie quarterback getting his first start today. Malik Willis, third-round pick of the Tennessee Titans, is going to be the starting quarterback with Ryan Tannehill officially brought down to out his status. He will not be playing this week. Malik Willis was really hyped up during the offseason, and then during the preseason had a pretty damn good showing. Came out there, threw a couple touchdowns, ran one in. I'm excited to see him. I don't know what my expectations are, but I'm just excited to watch Malik Willis. Joey, what are you expecting? Like what are your expectations for Malik Willis?
I'm actually, I'm in the Fantasy Pros ECR program, and I don't normally look at where the ECR ranking of people are, but when I ranked Malik Willis this week, I wanted to kind of see what everyone else was doing. And I guess I'm a little high on him because a lot of people were just putting him at dead last. And listen, Houston's faced one decent, what you would consider a running quarterback this season, and it was Justin Fields. He had 8 carries for 47 yards. And Houston's not great against the run in general. They're 5th worst against running backs this season. So I kind of like the play of Malik Willis, especially, if you've been having quarterback trouble this year and you're kind of desperate 2 quarterback leagues, I think he's a start. Honestly, I really do.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him play. I think this is a great matchup for him to be showcased. So I guess we'll see, but yeah.
Joe, would you start Malik Willis or Jimmy Garoppolo this week?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah. He's playing decently enough. Malik Willis, I'd rather wait and see. He's got the leg game. That's going to be upside for him, but otherwise, he's not a good enough prospect to just auto start in his first game ever in the NFL.
It's probably way lower than that. Joey, let's see. What about Malik Willis or Kenny Pickett? Are you throwing
there? I have him one spot above Kenny Pickett. That's the line. So he's my QB 25.
Okay, so he's a borderline start in 2 quarterback leagues, especially with a couple of the top tier guys on bye. I imagine somebody might be starting some Malik Willis this week. Let's hit some more of these players that are out or not out. And then I see some questions in here. We'll love to answer those for you guys. PJ Walker is getting the start again, even though Baker Mayfield is active. But the Peach is going to be out there on the field. The Peach to Deej connection lives on. Chuba Hubbard is out, though, so fire up your Deonta Foreman's if he is in your lineup. He's going to be absolutely killing it. Ezekiel Elliott is doubtful. He's unlikely to play, so we'll keep you guys updated on that as the unactives come out as well. James Conner, we mentioned, is out, not going to be playing. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, welcome back to the lineup. He will be playing this week. Cleared concussion protocols. JL, he's cleared concussion protocol, which hopefully means he's good to go. Are you starting Amon-Ra St. Brown full confidence this week?
Absolutely. I'm starting him this week. The concussion issues, which was it ever ruled an official concussion?
I don't know. I don't think so.
If I remember correctly, it was not. They pulled him off the field, and a lot of people were upset because it wasn't a concussion, but it's the new protocol, so they had to do with it.
New protocol, they were being safe, and that makes sense. That's what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Concussions typically aren't lingering, right? So if he's cleared, he's likely ready to go. It's not something that's going to continue to bother him. Now, there is always the risk that he could have another head hit today, in which case that would affect his future outlook, but we can't predict that. So I'm firing up Amon-Ra St. Brown against Miami this week. It's a good matchup. It's a positive matchup. And Amon-Ra St. Brown has been the guy when he's healthy on that team. They're running it through him. The entire offense is funneling through Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I'm firing him up.
I'm with you, JL.
The only Detroit player I'm actually worried about today is Josh Reynolds, because the last 2 weeks he's been out-targeted by Khalif Raymond and Swift, and Amon-Ra St. Brown are both back. Like, I don't see the workload for Reynolds being there today like he's had before, I would say 2 weeks ago.
We just had a touchdown in this Broncos game. Did you guys see it? Melvin Gordon running in a 1-yard touchdown run. My fantasy teams are happy about that. Nice job, Melvin Gordon. So the Broncos take the lead 13-0 here in the third, or not 13-10 here in the third quarter with that touchdown.
Did you see what Dulcich did on this drive, though? He had 3 receptions for, it was around 70-something yards.
Hot.
Yeah, I put him in for Darren Waller today because I just don't know what's going to happen with Waller. And listen, I got 12.7 PPR fantasy points out of him. I'm ecstatic right now.
You got to be pretty happy with how the Dulcich is playing so far. Guys, I see your questions in the chat. We're going to get to these very shortly. We'll be answering all of your questions throughout the morning here. A couple more players that are out. We've got Devontae Adams questionable, but he is expected to play per Ian Rappaport. We brought that one up. Nico Collins is out this week, and Brandon Cooks is going to be questionable. We're still looking at Jahan Dotson out in that Washington game. He will not be playing. Deebo Samuel, like I mentioned, for the 49ers is out this week as well. And in the Browns game on Monday night, David Njoku will not be playing. He is out as well. We also have news in here that Waller was ruled inactive about a half hour ago per Adam Schefter. So if you've got Darren Waller in your lineups, make sure you get him out of there as well.
I am glad I played Dulcich.
Glad you played Dulcich. It works out. Guys, coming up today from 11 to 1 p.m. or right now you're listening to Pre-Gaming with Front Yard Fantasy from 11 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to lead you up to kickoff of those 1 p.m. games. But right after that, from 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern time is Bettor Zone with Tom Cassell and Holden Kushner. And then 5 to midnight tonight is going to be the best of Bettor Sports Network. It's a live action party hangout featuring fans calling in and chatting in real time. So make sure you guys are hanging out here on Bettor Sports Network all day. We will be right back answering some of your questions after this. So guys, stick around. This is Pre-Gaming with Front Yard Fantasy on the Bettor Sports Network.
Nick Durst here, live from the MetLife Stadium parking lot. I'm here with Frank West, who is a Jets fan, Hall of Famer, and also one of the most notorious, well-known tailgating cooks in the world. Frank, what do you have cooking up for us here today?
I got some corn dogs in the deep fryer. I got some ribs in the smoker. We'll open that up for you in a second. We got our Gotham Glizzies. It's a special hot dog that we make. I got some buttermilk chicken sandwiches. Steak sandwiches are out now. Hamburgers are on the grill. And I got apple pie empanadas for dessert.
Wow, how about that? So how much prep time goes into getting all these meals ready for all the fans here?
Starts on Thursday. I get to sleep when the game's over.
There you go. So the Jets here, you're a big fan, obviously. Are you very optimistic for today? They're going to break their losing streak against the Patriots?
27-10, Jets win.
All right, there you go. All right, so Frank, give us a look around now what we got in the smoker. Wow, look at that. You can see the smoke coming out. Look at those ribs. Frank, what do you got those marinated in?
That's, I call it my apple explosion. It's basically like if you took the recipe for apple pie and married it with barbecue sauce. So you
There
can
you
only
go.
get these here at J3 at Gotham City Crew Tailgate.
All right, so if someone wants to come and eat some of your great food, how can they go about doing so?
Just go to www.gothamcitycrew.com. You can find us on Instagram. I go by Jet Green Santa, which you'll recognize me the last home game before Christmas. I'm the Green Santa Claus. But we also have the Gotham City Crew Instagram and Facebook and all that social media.
All right, any other food you want to show us? Anything else we got on the table out so far?
Yeah, this is what we call our Gotham Glizzies. So I made a topping, as you can see, it's all green. It's kind of like a pico de gallo. And then we put a little queso fresco on that. And here, I tell you what, I know you're working right now, but they need to know. So tell me.
My hands are full.
I got the microphone. Go ahead. We need an interview here. Go ahead.
That's fantastic. Frank hooking us up. And good stuff.
And our good friend Wesley Walker is here, so I'm going to sashay stage right.
All right.
There he is. The man, the myth, the legend, the Ring of Honor himself, Wesley Walker.
Let's get him in here. We got Wesley Walker here, Ring of Honor member of the Jets. Wesley, how you doing?
I was the only one wearing the tie today.
I'm his wife, Barbara Walker. How are you? Go Jets!
Wesley, what do you think about the Jets so far this season? Looks like
right now is very positive. We're all excited, and it's always good to win. Covers up a lot of multitude of sins, and it's still early. Injuries are a big factor, so I always worried about that. But it's always positive. Win or lose, I'm here to support.
Just so there's no confusion, Wes, I
got it. That's my man. I love it. That is my man.
All right, there you go. Frank West here with Wesley Walker, Jets Ring of Honor member. Got a delicious hot dog. The fans are pumped up. You got to get out to these tailgates. This is Nick Durst reporting from MetLife Stadium for Bettor Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back into Pre-Gaming with Front Yard Fantasy here on the Bettor Sports Network. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm with Bettor Boss in the chat saying buttermilk fried chicken over here, please. Ooh, yeah, I could handle some of that tailgate. Really good. I'm getting hungry. That is cruel to play those during the breaks while we're just stuck here sitting here. Like, it is not enough time for me to run to the fridge and grab some leftovers from yesterday, but I'm going to be killing it after this.
Were those tacos with queso fresco he was saying?
I think it was Glizzies. You got a hot dog over there with some queso fresco on them. Better tailgate food than I'm used to having. I
got to do that. I got to do that next weekend at the Bucks tailgates. I gotta go hit some different people up for their food.
Just start running around and with a microphone until people start giving you food. That's the move.
Yeah.
Just take a microphone to the tailgate and have someone follow you with a camera, and people start feeding you.
That's such a good idea. Oh my god! If you really needed food, that'd be so smart.
Right? Just act like you're like filming a special on tailgates.
I think I'm gonna do. I've got the Front Yard Fantasy microphone with the little clip with the sticker and all that. I'm getting some free food next week, boys.
Perfect,
guys. Inactives are trickling in officially for the Cowboys. Noah Brown and Ezekiel Elliott are both out this week. Ezekiel Elliott is inactive, so if he is in your lineup, that is official. Make sure you get him out of there. We've got Corey Davis also officially out right now as well, and the touchdown machine River Craycraft for the Miami Dolphins. If you are banking on him in your lineups, he is out this week as well. We'll keep updating you guys as these inactives come in. They are not finished yet. They're going to keep rolling in throughout the day, so we will make sure we hit these for you guys. We did have some questions that I wanted to hit that came in here that we're going to talk about. The first one in here I saw from Cam Cummings come in. He wanted to know Brian Robinson or Tyler Algier in a non-PPR league standard. Joey, would you be starting Brian Robinson or Tyler Algier this week?
I'm gonna go Brian Robinson. Yeah, it's pretty clear case Brian Robinson for me in this situation.
What about you, JL? Brian Robinson for you as well?
Brian Robinson for me as well. I'm really loving the way that this offense has been using Brian Robinson. I'm hoping he has a good week this week.
We also have another question. Full PPR, Pittman or DJ Moore? This one came from Jacob Sodini. JL, are you starting Pittman with Sam Ellinger throwing him the ball, or are you starting DJ Moore with the Peach to Deej connection this week?
Oh, the QB play for both these guys, non-ideal. Pittman's going against Washington this week. DJ Moore, the Carolina Panthers are going against Atlanta Falcons, which is the best matchup for wide receivers in fantasy. I'm going to go DJ Moore. He's the main guy on that team. So is Michael Pittman. Don't get me wrong, but we haven't seen Sam Ellinger yet. I want to see him on the field. I want to see how he does. And just quick correction, we haven't seen him this season, not preseason, the actual season. So I want to see him play against starters. I want to see what he looks like and what Michael Pittman and his rapport is like. DJ Moore, we know he's got that connection with Peach, that Peach to Deej connection. We know this Atlanta defense is not fantastic outside of AJ Terrell. Give me DJ Moore.
What about you, Joe? Are you going Deej to Peach, or are you taking Michael Pittman with the rookie?
They'll hit it all. I'm going DJ Moore. He was on the field for 100% of the snaps last week, and you got to be on the field to get fantasy points.
100%. Some more official reports coming in. James Conner, like we already knew, is officially inactive this week. And Darren Waller, just like we saw, is also officially inactive. The inactive reports for those two teams coming in. Jail, Mr. Scampers had a question for us. Half PPR, need 2. Singletary, and I lost it. So are you starting Devin Singletary? Here we go. It is Singletary, Eno, or Kittle. Has to start 2 of the 3. Devin Singletary, Eno Benjamin, or George Kittle. Which 2 of the 3 would you be starting?
And I was playing George Kittle. I was playing Madden last night in that legacy game when you start up Madden. George Kittle had like 3 touchdowns. It's awesome. I'm going to go out of these 3 guys. I'm going Singletary. Singletary is the main running back on this team. It's a good matchup for running backs against Green Bay for Buffalo. Eno Benjamin, he's okay. It's all right. He's probably the next one I would start here between him and Kittle, but it's close. I would go Singletary.
Yeah, we have to start 2 of them. So you're going Singletary and then Eno as the second one over Kittle? Because that's the trick. I'm with you on Singletary. Yeah. That's the kicker for me is, do I go Eno or do I go Kittle? And I can't decide.
So here's the thing with Kittle. Here's why I'm like iffy is that the matchup is really tough for him. The Los Angeles Rams have been able to shut down tight ends this year. They're number 1 in terms of fantasy points allowed to the tight end position. It's a little worrisome. I think I'd go Eno.
I think you're going to go Eno. What about you, Joey?
Eno was the clear-cut start for me out of this group. I really like Eno Benjamin. Maybe I'm the Eno Benjamin guy. I'll take that. I'll take that title. And then, it's Devin Singletary. I'm worried about the Rams against Kittle. We don't have oh, we got somebody up with us.
I will say PPR, I would probably go Kittle over Eno. Just because of that little extra. That's how close it is. That's how close it is that the format is changing this. Yeah,
I'm this one's torn on me. I think I'll go Eno and Singletary. Start the 2. No, but how do you leave Kittle out of your lineup? Do you have Travis Kelce and George Kittle? That's a crazy one. Look at the European man himself joining us live from Game Day in Europe. What's up, Coop? Welcome in.
Where are we right now?
We are in Iceland. Can you guys hear me all right?
We can hear you perfectly.
Oh, clean, baby. We are in Iceland right now on the first leg of the Coop European Tour. Get a little scenic view. Beautiful. And, hey, boys, believe it or not, a couple Navy pilots I ran into them, and they go, pull me in. They pulled me in, and they're like, hey, football is going on in here. They saw my Patriots. Gear. So we got the gang in here, boys. Hey, shut up.
Football is international.
We got football in Iceland, baby. Hey, live on the show. We got football in Iceland, baby. Yeah.
Oh, that is sick.
What part of Iceland are you in?
We're in the capital. We're in Reykjavik, dude, the football capital of Iceland. That's what they say. Yeah, when you show up at the airport, they say this is the football capital of Iceland.
That's what they say as soon as you get off.
So I've been, what do you say?
That's what they say as soon as you get off. They say, welcome to the football capital.
As soon as you get off, they're like, welcome. Yeah. Then they say, go Pats, dude.
Are you excited about Evan Ingram's touchdown today?
Bro, fired up. I didn't even have to really tweet myself because enough people tagged me in that one and tweeted at me. I'm sitting here with a Jags fan, dude. This guy's he's pretty excited about how good this punter is. One of the best in the game.
Yeah.
Probably the worst for fantasy football being so good. But.
True.
That's
This
pretty
game's
awesome.
fun. It's a close game.
It is a close game.
Yeah. So Simon, I see you wore your Jerry Seinfeld shirt for the show.
Yeah, I'm going as Jerry Seinfeld, 100%. But he grew his hair out. We'll see if we get the impression out a little bit later. I might have to lose.
Can you guess who I am, Coop?
You look like Darth Maul.
Close. I'm either Padme or a handmaid or Red Riding Hood. You decide.
Whatever you want to be.
I was actually. I'm feeling the Little Red Riding Hood. You're a little sweetie.
You got it right. I got the basket and all.
Joey is Joey's Marshall Mathers before he turns into Eminem.
I'm Simon.
Oh my God. You just threw that at me and you didn't even know it. You just called me pre-Eminem Marshall Mathers and didn't even know you were.
Hey, at least I didn't call you Kid Rock this time.
That's true.
That is true. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Coop,
Hey, I gotta go though. Gotta get back to my life. Gotta get back to the party here, guys. Just wanted to pop in and say what up.
enjoy your NFL Sunday in Reykjavik.
Let's go.
We love you, Coop.
He's such
How
a nice
freaking
guy.
cool. He shows up in Iceland and immediately finds the football bar ready to go. NFL fandom doesn't rest when you take a trip over there to Europe. I guess that's awesome.
That streaming quality was pretty good too. I feel like
I was
it's better than most of ours.
Yeah.
Shout out Iceland internet. Just shout out. They got that 7G pumping through Reykjavik
7G.
or something over there. We had a question in here come in. PPR pick 2. Garrett Wilson, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Romeo Doubs. Joey, which 2 of those 3 would you be plugging into your lineup?
Romeo Doubs is the first one I would plug in. And then Donovan Peoples-Jones or Garrett Wilson. Listen, Zach Wilson's not thrown a touchdown in 3 weeks. Like, I'm worried about Zach Wilson. He is my last ranked quarterback. Terrible matchup against Patriots today. I'm still going to start Garrett Wilson over Donovan Peoples-Jones, but I'm not happy about it.
What about you, JL? With David Njoku out, are you more tempted to start DPJ, or are you going with Joey here, and it's going to be Wilson and Doubs?
It's going to be Wilson and Dobbs for me as well. I'm with Joey.
Yeah, I'm also going to go Wilson and Doubs here. I want to see if this the trend we've seen of DPJ's targets going up whenever Njoku's not playing. Like we saw that last week. I want to see if that continues, but he may become a starter over the back half of the season. Eric wanted to know pick 2, Kareem Hunt, Jamal Williams, or Paris Campbell. This is in PPR. JL, of those 3, Kareem Hunt, Jamal Williams, and Paris Campbell, which 2 are you starting? One's got to go on the bench.
Which 2 am I starting between Jamal Williams, Kareem Hunt, and Paris Campbell? Paris Campbell is playing against Washington. Jamal Williams has Miami. Kareem Hunt is playing against Cincinnati Bagels. The Bagels. I'm gonna go Jamal Williams and Kareem Hunt in this one. They're the safer plays here, and I think they have pretty high upside. Kareem Hunt, the subject of many trade rumors. Maybe we see a little bit of Kareem Hunt today. Who knows? Maybe we see a little bit of Kareem Hunt featured in this offense, try and spice up that those trade talks. I'll go those 2 guys.
Also, I missed this earlier when talking about the Cardinals inactive report. Darrell Williams is active this week. Darrell Williams will be playing. Joey, does that change your full go ahead for Eno Benjamin, or are you still all in on Eno Benjamin this week?
I'm still all in on Eno Benjamin. I mean, it downgrades him a little bit. I might move him down. I'll look at my rankings. Hell, I'll do this live right now. Go to the next question and then I'll do it.
Okay, we've got a question in here. RB Fant wants to know Gesicki or Irv Smith this week. JL, are you plugging in Mr. Gesicki or Irv Smith?
Ooh, that's actually tough. Let me pull up
the good one, right?
Yeah.
Dolphins are in that game against the Lions, right?
Yeah. Dolphins have the Lions. Minnesota has Arizona. I think both are really solid matchups. 51.5 total for Miami, 49 for Minnesota. I think I'd go Irv Smith here. I lean ever so slightly Irv Smith.
I'm with you, JL. It's that Arizona matchup that's the tiebreaker for me, right? Like the game is sexy, the Detroit, Miami, but yeah, Arizona, it seems like a multi-year trend now where they're just awful against the tight end position.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a few years for sure.
This is also expected to be a high-scoring game, just like the Miami-Detroit game is. I'll take Irv Smith. I think I'm rolling that way because Gesicki's another one of those guys that you're hoping for that touchdown. What about you, Joey?
It's Irv Smith for me.
Irv Smith, suck it, Gesicki. No one wants to start you. I'm sorry. That was so rude if he ever sees that. I don't mean it.
So I'm looking at Eno, and I think I have him at running back 19. I think I'm going to put him behind Deonta Foreman. I think I'm going to make that move him down one spot.
One spot. So Deonta Foreman moves ahead of him with Darrell Williams active. So that's not a major change, just maybe like a tiebreaker for the guys that he was close
that
with.
little bit right there makes me say, okay, I think Foreman, because he's going to get all the carries today.
Yeah, because Chuba is out. Uneasy Allies in here had a question for us. Said, hey guys, what's up, Uneasy? Should I start DK or Najee in my flex? DK playing injured like we know, and Najee playing like he's been playing so far this year. JL, are you playing Najee or DK?
Najee has the Philadelphia Eagles. Seattle's playing the Giants. I'm going Najee Harris in this one. I know it's been disappointing. I know you drafted Najee Harris to be this breakout running back, the solid stalwart running back, and he just hasn't been that. But he has been a consistent running back too. He's been getting the opportunity, and he's trying to make it work in this offense. The Philadelphia secondary is very good. They might end up shutting down this Pittsburgh passing game, which means likely have to rely a lot on Najee today. I'll go Najee.
Yep. Joe, are you agreeing? Is it all Najee?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with JL. Maybe I'll just take a second. Like, Najee Harris is somebody that I'm looking to buy low on. Not necessarily for the next couple of weeks, but if you are sitting at like 7-1 in your leagues, Najee Harris has the 5th easiest running back schedule of all players in the NFL right now. So, you know, if you're 7-1, you feel good, you look like you're going to make the playoffs. I would look to really trade for Najee because you might not be able to get him for a better price than, especially in the next few weeks.
Absolutely. Some more inactives rolling in, guys. Tight end Adam Troutman for the New Orleans Saints is out again this week. I know there were questions. Juwan Johnson coming off that big 2-touchdown game last week. Fire him up again. I know he was questionable, but he is active, and Adam Troutman is inactive. If that's the case, then I'm starting Juwan Johnson. Joey, are you comfortable with Juwan Johnson as your starting tight end if Adam Troutman's out and he's active?
He would have been who I started instead of Dulcich if Waller was out. So I like Juwan Johnson a lot.
There we go. Jolin had a question for us in the chat. Said Metcalf or Gallup in the flex spot.
What up,
Full
Jordan?
point PPR 12 team. Welcome in, Jordan. Glad to have you joining us this morning. JL, Metcalf playing injured or Michael Gallup in that flex spot? Full point PPR.
Let's see who is Washington or Dallas is playing Chicago. That's right. That's
Indeed
right.
They are.
And we just said Giants are playing Seattle. That's tough. I'd go Michael Gallup. The deal breaker is tiebreaker, I should say, is the injury stuff, the health stuff for DK.
I like it being a deal breaker. Like, yeah,
deal breaker.
These players have red flags. That's a red flag for me, DK. I'm going with Gallup. Joe, are you going Gallup or Metcalf?
I don't want to play Metcalf. I really don't, because I'm just concerned about if he's playing injured. And I've got Gallup only 3 spots behind him, and that's I need to update that because now Noah Brown's out. I'm actually lean Gallup on this.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. The Noah Brown being out is the little bit that pushes it over the edge. Feels weird having a triple Gallup start, especially after that goose egg he laid last week. But looks like Jordan was leaning Gallup. He's going that way. Let us know how it works out, Jordan. Or we can watch. We know how the numbers work. Guys, if you're just joining us. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Joey.
The Bears have been really good against wide receivers and quarterbacks this season. So it's a shaky Gallup for me. But the injury bothers me.
Shaky Gallup.
A shaky Gallup.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining a horse. It's the most uncomfortable horse ride of your life. It's just a real shaky Gallup going down the beach.
Slow down.
I think I've told you guys this. When I was in Mexico last, my mom wanted to ride horses on the beach, and my girlfriend found these people on Facebook who said, yeah, we'll meet you on the beach with some horses. And they just showed up with 5 horses and said, go ahead. No training, no nothing, on a busy beach full of people, just handed us horses. And they were like spurring us on to go faster. Like they'd come up if we weren't going fast enough. And like, it was terrifying. That was a shaky Gallup. I had no idea what I was doing.
Gallup.
Very shaky Gallup. Guys, we had some more questions come in here. Before we hit those, I want to remind everyone watching, if you're enjoying what we do over here, if you want to see more of JL dressed up as Padme / Little Red Riding Hood / a handmaid, make sure you head on over to our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy. Hit that subscribe button. We've got all sorts of sexy, spooky content coming out over there and fantasy football stuff as well. So make sure you guys are subscribed. I see some more questions in here. You guys want to hit some of these?
Let's do it.
It is week 8. It is week 8, and people got the questions. Calvo in here said, "What's up, y'all? What's up, Calvo?" Sit one.
Calvo?
Wandale Robinson, George Pickens, or Allen Robinson. One has to go on the bench. Joey, who are you benching? Is it your boy Allen Robinson, or are you benching one of these two rookies?
I'm gonna bench my boy between those three.
Allen Robinson hits the bench. What about you, JL?
It was Allen Robinson, Wandale Robinson. Who was the third?
George Pickens.
Georgie Pickens. That's right. Between these three guys, I'm benching one of them. It's going to be Allen Robinson, like Joey said. Yeah, I'm going Wandale. I'm going George Pickens.
This is the first week that I put Pickens above Johnson. I think the shift has happened for me.
Yeah, I'm benching Allen Robinson out of these three as well. I'm excited to start those two rookies. Boy, am I excited for Wandale Robinson this week.
What will be interesting for George Pickens is that Philadelphia defense, which has been very, very good against wide receivers.
Yeah, that will be interesting to see. I'm just excited to see these rookie wide receivers over the back half of the season, right? Like we've already seen some exciting production from rookie wide receivers, but this is the time of year where we start seeing which guys are going to take that next step up, elevate their play. Like this happens every year. So we could be seeing, Joey, like you said, the passing of the torch, George Pickens taking over as the one. Like that wouldn't be absurd for that to start happening week 8, week 9. Like this is the time of year where we see the rookies get that switch, get that go ahead in the offense. Victor had a question for us, wanted to know PJ Walker, Malik Willis, or Aaron Rodgers. Joey, which of those three quarterbacks would you be plugging in? The Peach, Malik Willis in his first career start, or Aaron Rodgers?
It's still going to be Aaron Rodgers. I'm not excited to start him today, but between these three, it's probably the safest option.
That's where you got to go. JL, what about you?
Where the three?
PJ Walker, Malik Willis, and Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, yeah.
That's a question that we're actually thinking about. Wow.
God. Let's see what we got from Malik Willis. Let's see what he looks like out there. Maybe he becomes a fun start down the stretch, but right now you got to just roll with Aaron Rodgers. Mr. Scampers wanted to know half PPR pick 2. Gabriel Davis, Tyler Boyd, Ramondre Stevenson, and Devonta Smith. So we've got Gabriel Davis, the offseason darling, good for a long touchdown at any given time. Tyler Boyd with Jamar Chase out, not playing this week. Ramondre Stevenson, the Rhino. Damian Harris is back, but he looks like the lead back. Or Devonta Smith, Joey, who you've already talked about really liking the matchup for this week. You've already said you would start him over Tyler Boyd, but is he in your top 2 of these players?
Yeah, so Devonta Smith is definitely one of them because I have him ranked highest of the 3 wide receivers you mentioned. Ramondre is what I'm thinking about right now. I might go Gabe Davis. Just if you need a home run, it's Scampers asked this, right?
Yeah, this is from Scampers.
Scampers, we go back a long way. If you need a home run, go Gabe Davis. If you need some safety, go Ramondre Stevenson.
Checks out. Makes sense. JL, we had another question come in here. Robert Tonyan or Dalton Schultz? And this one comes from Apostrophe. So Apostrophe wanted to know Robert Tonyan or Dalton Schultz. I didn't even know you could have your name be one character on YouTube. That's incredible.
Why not? Why not? Just to answer Scamper's last question, I would go Devonta Smith and Tyler Boyd as well. I think that's what Joey said. I'm sitting Ramondre Stevenson out of that group. I'm fine if you want to go get Davis or Boyd. They're pretty similar.
Makes sense. What about these tight ends? You plugging in Tonyan or Schultzy boy?
Oh, I have to start Dalton Schultz in a league, and I'm worried about it. I don't know if he's going to be healthy enough, but I have to. Dalton Schultz has Chicago this week. Robert Tonyan has Buffalo. I think I'd go Robert Tonyan over Dalton Schultz. It's close enough. Slightly better matchup. This game expected to score a little bit higher points coming from Vegas. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have to lean on his tight end this week. I think he's going to have a hard time with his Buffalo defense, which has been very good.
Yeah, I'm going Robert Tonyan as well. Joey, is it a triple Bob Tonyan or are you plugging in
Bobatons?
Triple Bob? We got a triple Bob. Dalton Schultz, get on the bench. Nick's had a question for us. Want to know full PPR. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Miles Sanders, Drake London, or Wandale Robinson. This one's going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown for me. I feel like you got to plug him in if he's back. Joey, do you agree?
Mm-hmm.
We got Amon-Ra St. Brown. And Mr. Scamper's in here saying, Big Buns, baby. Big Buns, Tunyon.
Buns, baby. BBB.
BBB, Big Buns, baby. Mr. Robert Tunyon, the triple B, Big Buns, baby, as he's always referred to. Yep. Heavy T in here wanted to know, half PPR, Freiermuth, Irv Smith, or Hayden Hurst? So another Irv Smith question, Joe. We mentioned we liked that matchup earlier. So JL, are you going with Freiermuth, Irv Smith, or Hayden Hurst?
It is Hayden Hurst for me. Jamar Chase is out this week. He's out. He's not playing. He's out for a few weeks. Hayden Hurst is gonna be a beneficiary of that. Is a close second. He's a close second out of this group.
What about you, Joey?
Pat Fryer-Tuck.
It's Freiermuth for me. Yep.
Yeah, this one's close. Hayden Hurst, are you guys tempted with Jamar Chase out to throw him in there or not at all?
That's what I said.
Oh, that is what you said. I thought you said,
exactly what I said.
I thought you said Irv Smith. So JL, why are you starting Irv Smith over Hayden Hurst?
Well, because Jamar Chase is out, I'm going to go Irv Smith.
Yeah, that checks out.
JL said he's going to start OJ Howard over Hayden Hurst this week.
Yeah. Did
OJ Howard and
Jordan Leggett over Hayden Hurst.
Jordan Leggett over Hayden Hurst. You heard it here first, guys. AMC had a question for us. Want to know Andy Dalton or Malik Willis in Superflex? That is a question. Joe, are you going with Andy Dalton or are you going with Malik Willis?
I'm going with Andy Dalton. And here's why. The Raiders have allowed every quarterback that's played against them this season to be a QB1. I don't like Andy Dalton at all, but this week I do. I think he definitely put up a quarterback one performance this week.
Andy Dalton's my quarterback in my FanDuel lineup this week. Yep. I threw in an Andy Dalton, Chris Olave stack, and it's exactly the reason that you said, Joey. This Raiders team is just bleeding quarterback one performances over and over and over again. I get the desire to plug in the exciting rookie in his first start, but we got to go with Andy Dalton here. While we're talking Malik Willis, we did talk about him a little bit earlier in the show. If you're just joining us, though, Matt in here wants to know, what are you expecting from Malik Willis? I'm starting him over Zach Wilson and Matt Stafford in 2 leagues. So, Joey, you talked about this earlier. Tell us again, what are your expectations from Malik Willis?
So I mentioned the because how's Houston performing against the run this year? Because Tennessee's just going to run the ball today between Derrick Henry and now Malik Willis. They've given up the 5th most fantasy points to running backs this season. And the game against Justin Fields earlier this season, I brought it up earlier. What was it? Man, I lost it. It was 76 yards. So, I mean, I think he's a start. I have a borderline QB2. So I'm expecting, we'll say maybe 150 passing yards, 70 rushing yards, a couple touchdowns. I wouldn't be shocked to see that at all.
I agree with you. I think that's about what we're expecting from him, right? I'm avoiding starting him if you can, but if you got to start him, you got to start him. I see George in here saying, thanks for telling me to start Dulcich. He's at 11 points and is close to 100 yards. You got it, my man. And I'll just let you know my advice for next week. It's probably going to be start Dulcich again, unless you got a better option. But Dulcich is looking pretty hot out there so far.
Hot pasta.
Hot pasta. Tell me what you nasta. George in here wanted to know, should I bench T. Higgins or A.J. Brown for Dameon Pierce? I hate having him on my bench when he has blow-up games. Man, the problem of having too many good players. Joey, are you benching either T. Higgins or A.J. Brown for Dameon Pierce?
Listen, you are talking to the Dameon Pierce guy. Like, I love him so much, and I am sitting him for both of these guys. I would much rather have T. Higgins, especially with Jamar Chase being out. And A.J. Brown is one of my favorite wide receivers in the league. So, yeah, it's Pierce on the bench. Sorry, Dameon Pierce.
What about you, Dale? Is Pierce sitting on the bench in this situation?
Pierce is absolutely sitting on the bench. Good team. Good team. It's a good problem to have.
Yep. Congratulations.
Yeah, great problem to have. We have another question in here from AMC Machine. AMC Machine, welcome in. AMC wanted to know George Pickens or Wan'Dale Robinson. George Pickens or Wan'Dale Robinson? Yeah. Joe, you're going Wan'Dale?
Wan'Dale this week, yeah. George Pickens, while I do like I do really like George Pickens and his talent, the matchup's tough. It's tough for Wan'Dale Robinson too, but I think they're going to feature the hell out of him this week. It just feels like a Wan'Dale Robinson week.
It does. It does. It absolutely feels like a Wan'Dale Robinson week. And we talk about George Pickens potentially taking over as the one there. He's still got a lot of people to compete with there to be the one. Wan'Dale Robinson's competing with Daniel Bellinger to be the main target on that team.
Uh-oh.
It's not looking good. Jail, what are you groaning about? Something happened in that game?
Marvin Jones got a bonk to the face mask. He got a football that just went through his hands, hit him straight in the helmet.
No, I think they're about to replay the bonk. I love a good bonk in football. Nope, I'm looking at a hold instead is what I'm looking at. Not looking great.
You might have missed it. I think that I'm seeing the hold now too.
George has a follow-up question for us. Says, then do I start Kenneth Walker or Dameon Pierce? Saquon is a must start as my RB1. So would you start Dameon Pierce over Kenneth Walker, Joey, or is Dameon Pierce still staying on the bench?
There. So Kenneth Walker, I have as my running back 9. Dameon Pierce is my running back 13. So it's Kenneth Walker for me. But I mean, I've got Dameon Pierce starting over Dalvin Cook. I would start him over Ramondre. Like, I like Dameon Pierce. Just, man, you've got a great team. Congratulations. Good problem to have.
Yeah, you got a sexy team, George. Nick's had one more question for us. Wants to know, as far as a defense to start, Miami or Arizona? JL, would you be starting that Miami Dolphins defense going up against the Lions, or the Arizona Cardinals defense going up against the Minnesota Vikings? Both two of the expected higher scoring games today. So those are maybe rougher defensive options. But if you have to plug one of them in, where are you going?
It's the Dolphins against the Detroit Lions. Yeah, I do expect a good game from Amon-Ra St. Brown. So might not be the best defense to choose, but between these two, Arizona and Miami, it's the Dolphins.
I'm just, every time you're giving serious advice and you've got that hood on, I'm just sitting here giggling. It's
thought about taking it off, and I'm like,
no, you have to leave it on. Commit to the bit. Commit to the bit, guys. A reminder for everybody listening, you can listen to all of our best interviews on demand whenever you want with the Bettor Sports Network app. It's now included with all of your subscriptions. Just go to your profile, select a monthly or yearly package, and you can hear every BSN talk show on demand, plus compelling conversations with guests like Darren Rovell, Scott Farrell, Adnan Verk, and way more. Right now, though, you are listening to Pre-Gaming with Front Yard Fantasy here on the Bettor Sports Network.
It's Moose and Keith with Mark Malusis and Keith Irizarry.
Moose and Keith with you. Let's welcome aboard right now, Iron Eagle. One of the great stories that I have from doing notes on a plane, and you always get people looking over. They see color-coded uniform numbers, names, height, weight, age, background, hometown. And I had a woman sitting next to me on a flight, and I'm doing my notes, and she's kind of giving a look, then looking, and I can tell she's looking. And then finally, she'll say, so what is it that you do? Well, what do you think I do? She said, are you a wedding planner? I said, yes. I said, I have to put Rob Gronkowski at Tom Brady's table. I said, you know what? You're not correct, but it's the best answer I've ever heard. That's great.
Corey Nando and Friends, presented by Mayo Media.
Fantasy Life Fantasy Executive. It's going to be a football life. The Fantasy Executive is probably going to be the best football life ever.
And who'll be the guest? Everyone who was on yesterday, basically.
Yeah, everybody that's on yesterday will be the guest. Scott Ingram, you know what I'm saying? Adam Ronis. Yeah, everybody, those people. Because what Nando, obviously you'll be there. You know what I'm saying? We'll go to the GST and shoot some scenes. You know what I'm saying?
That'd be nice.
We'll shoot some scenes in Midtown Manhattan. Antonio Brown can be on my football life,
That'd
right?
Be nice.
Because that's a big part of my come up as a fantasy analyst. Everybody, the football life, the fantasy executive is going to be for the people. When they do the football life on the fantasy executive, I'm going to be hands on.
Good. Yeah. You talking to you. Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
Cheetos or Doritos?
I truly love both. Cool Ranch Doritos. I grew up on Cheetos. I was a big Chester Cheetah guy.
Oh, nice.
But Ray, as I have aged into adulthood, I've moved away from the fun that is the Cheeto, and I've gone to the, more cosmopolitan Cool Ranch Dorito chip. So I'm probably a Cool Ranch guy. How about you?
I would go Doritos. I don't like Cool Ranch. The traditional, original, regular, whatever it is really good. But my favorite's actually the sweet chili, the purple bag. Oh, it's delicious. It's fantastic.
Yeah. The one that sucks, and I think we can all agree on this one, taco.
Yeah.
I know a lot of things, and I'm perfect at a lot of things. My Dorito trivia is a little shaky.
Okay.
A little shaky, but I think taco is the first flavor.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back into pre-gaming with Front Yard Fantasy here on the Bettor Sports Network. It is week 8, and for those of you just tuning in, let's do a quick reminder of the stuff you need to know for this week's games. In case you missed it, Jamar Chase is out, but he did not get placed on the IR, so some good news there. But if you had him in your lineups this week, you're going to have to make other plans for that player. DeAndre Swift, on the other hand, is active this week, so welcome back to your rosters, DeAndre Swift. I know DeAndre Swift managers were excited about that one. We had some questions about Randall Cobb if he was playing a little bit earlier in today's show. So I just wanted to give an update to everyone. He is still on IR. He is still out. So he is still out today. So if you had Randall Cobb in your lineups, make other plans as well. Malik Willis and Sam Ehlinger are two rookie quarterbacks getting their first start today. So adjust your expectations for their receiving options accordingly. Man, we've talked a lot about Malik Willis already, but we didn't talk about the pass catchers there. Joe, you mentioned they're just going to run the ball over and over and over again. Are you starting any pass catcher for the Tennessee Titans with Malik Willis at quarterback?
My highest rated pass catcher is Robert Woods, and he's wide receiver 47. I did play a prop bet today on Derrick Henry having over 11.5 receiving yards. I wouldn't be surprised if Derrick Henry maybe leads the team in targets today. It's going to be a run heavy game.
Yeah, it's going to be rough for those receiving options. Would you guys start? Here's a real decision I've been facing with Robert Woods or Devontae Parker this week. Ooh. Who would you be plugging in? Those are the two players I have to decide between. And I keep going back and forth. I've switched it 4 times already this week. Ooh. Who would you be plugging in?
Christian Kirk, big play.
Hey,
big play alert.
Oh man, now you got me.
Between Devontae Parker, Robert Woods. I'm choosing Robert Woods going against Houston. The New England Patriots playing the Jets, which, man, that game always feels like something's up. It always feels like whenever the Patriots play the Jets or whenever the Patriots play in division, it gets a little wacky.
It gets a little weird. Joey, where would you be going?
I would go to brunch with my wife instead of starting either of those guys. No, I'd start Robert Woods.
Robert Woods. That's who I have in my lineup right now. It's what I'm going with, but it's gross. I see producer Keith in the chat saying, is JL Little Red Riding Hood? Well, Little Red Riding Hood. Give us a line to prove it.
I'm Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh, that proved it. That her classic line that she says every time she comes to the screen. Oh, and
I don't remember her opening the Red Hood. Yeah,
she does.
Wait, actually, I did see that version of Red Riding Hood. Yeah.
Sorry, that's the fan fiction part.
Dale's deep into Red Riding Hood fanfic. He's just find his forums. He's big in
the forums, bro.
He's big Red Riding Hood over there on the boards. Kavi had a question come in for us over the break. Wanted to know, should I trade T. Higgins and Kenneth Walker for Nick Chubb, full PPR? So
no,
T. Higgins and Kenneth Walker.
No,
do not do that.
I almost dropped my first F-bomb on the show.
Please don't do that.
No,
Kenneth Walker, just as good as Nick Chubb. Even that trade alone, I mean, I wouldn't never recommend that trade 1-for-1, but it's pretty fair, like just in terms of value between Nick Chubb and Kenneth Walker. So do not make this trade. Do not throw, was it T. Higgins in there too?
T. Higgins, yeah.
Yeah, that's a mistake. Don't do it.
Kavi, just celebrate that you've got T. Higgins and Kenneth Walker on this team because that is shaping up to be a killer team. Don't feel pressure to make that trade. Chubb isn't even a big upgrade over Kenneth Walker, if an upgrade at all. Oh, Jill, I think you're 5 seconds ahead of me. I'm what? Looked like he was about to get in. It looked like we were about to have another Travis Etienne touchdown.
Sorry.
As soon as I saw you tense up like that, I was like, I know it's Etienne. Like, I know it's Etienne.
Like, are they going to push? Are they going to push him?
Oh, no. And they
How far am I behind?
Maybe a little bit.
I can't even.
Oh, wow. I'm so far behind, guys.
Uh-oh.
Guys, joining us right now, we have our great friend Lawrence Jackson Jr. joining the show from NBC Sports. You can find him on Twitter at Lord Don't Lose. Lawrence, thank you so much for joining us today, my man.
What's happening, fellas? I'm up here trying to figure out what y'all got going on in these costumes.
We're trying to figure it out too, bro.
Is
We're
this
trying to figure it out.
Pirates in the Caribbean right here?
Oh, I'm actually Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually Simon and Lawrence. This is great. We're wearing matching hats today.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Simon, that makes sense.
A-Town down. Let's go.
Y'all should just been each other. So
That's
JL, I think I heard you was Lil Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, you got it.
with the goatee.
With the goatee.
All right.
Facial hair. I got my basket. I'm all set.
All right.
And Lawrence playing a Braves fan today. That's what you got going on for Halloween?
Yeah. I'm gonna act like I like baseball, even though I don't know what's going on. And since the Braves didn't make it, I got nobody to bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? So if Atlanta don't pull through, I know Philly in it, but I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on either.
I don't know what's going on either. My favorite part about baseball is the hats. I just got all the baseball hats.
You gotta get the hats, man.
They got the best hat. And we got
Travis
an ETN touchdown. There we go.
Damn.
Guys, for those of you that are not familiar with Lawrence's work, one, familiarize yourself. The dude is the absolute man. But he's got a show, the Roto World Football Show, 1 p.m. on Tuesdays, and Fantasy Football Happy Hour with Matthew Berry at 12 p.m. or 12 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesdays. Am I getting that time right, Lawrence?
Yeah, that's about right there. Yeah, for sure.
Man, that's pretty cool doing a show with Matthew Berry. How's that been so far?
Yeah, my job is to make it look easier than it actually is.
Of course.
But nah, man, it's cool, man. He good. Us, we a lot of guys who, we haven't been doing it as long as him, but he been real great with helping us out and how to do this TV thing, so it's solid, man. So, now that I got my mug on TV, it's really Halloween now.
It's really Halloween. I use NBC Sports Edge all the time for all my news alerts. Like I'll just go on there, hop in there in the morning, see all the news, and it is always like there's like a spark. I'm like, oh shoot, there's Lawrence. Whenever the autoplay starts going, I see you on there. I'm like, that's my guy right there.
Yeah, that'd be
That's
me.
my boy. Lawrence, I figured maybe you could help us answer some of these questions that came in today. We got Brett Francois. What's up, Brett Francois? I hope that's how you say your last name, because that's a badass last name.
That gotta be the last name.
It's gotta be, right? He wants to know, do I start
Francois.
Dawson Knox or Juwan Johnson? So Adam Troutman is not playing this week. Lawrence, who would you be plugging in? Dawson Knox of the Buffalo Bills or Juwan Johnson with Troutman out again, coming off that 2-touchdown game?
It's tough too, because you gotta. I think the over under in that Saints and Raiders game somewhere around 50 right
49
now.
and a half right now.
Yeah, we know Taysom Hill not a traditional tight end. It's hard to fade Dawson Knox just because the only reason we thinking about Dawson Knox is because the offense that he attached to right now. Lot more weapons in that offense though. So I'm gonna chase them points and go Juwan Johnson.
Juwan Johnson. I think I'm with you. With Adam Troutman out, I'm just going to keep rolling. We called it last week, right? Saying if Adam Troutman's out, you can plug Juwan Johnson in, and I'm going to keep on rolling that start right there. We had another question in here from Mitch. Mitch wanted to know, would you start Tony Pollard over either Mixon or Kamara in a standard league?
Oh,
Tony Pollard. See, this dude's got all the running backs, I guess. So this is a tough Pollard question, but you starting him
how
over
can
Mixon
you
or
not
Kamara?
start all three of them? Play one of them in the flex and bench one of the receivers, especially if it's half PPR, but it's probably full. That's why he want to bench one of the running backs. I would. We got the Bengals. Honestly, I would bench Mixon. Yeah, I would go against that grain Mixon. Who?
It's man, it's tough.
I think I'm with you, Lawrence. I
believe in Tony Pollard this week. How can you not? He usually make a big run every other week, but now he have a chance to, with Zeke out, kind of do his thing. And we all know what he did the last time. The last time he had the full workload, 60 yards on the ground and through the receiving game each, and 2 touchdowns going up against the Bears. If it wasn't the Bears, then I would say bench him, but I mean, that's why you asking the question, right? Fire up Pollard, but it's tight though. That's hard. That's a hard question right there.
That's a really hard question. I love you bringing up the Bears. The Bears giving up 27th most points to fantasy running backs. Matchup is positive for him. Matchup is positive for Mixon too. Going against Cleveland, they have not been good at stopping the run. I had to stop. I think I'm with you though. I had to start Kamara. I had to start Pollard. If you can, start all three.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, I'm just trying to imagine what your lineup looks like where one of those three ends up on your bench this week. Like, that's a pretty sick loaded roster.
Hill.
Yeah.
You got to have Tyree Hill, Devontae Adams or something.
All of them.
Maybe.
Like, Saquon's got to be sitting in your flex or something down there to be asking this question.
Yeah.
Also, coming from Jordan in the chat, letting us know that the Bills have called the Saints about trading for running back Alvin Kamara. So Alvin Kamara on the Bills, a potential possibility. You think maybe they got spooked by CMC over to the 49ers and they're like, we got to get our star running back now?
Maybe.
That'd be wild.
What would the Saints have to give up?
I feel like the Bills is calling everybody for a running back. I saw something about Kareem Hunt, Cam Akers, now Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara had a tweet the other day, said, I ain't trying to go nowhere. So everything's supposed to happen. I'm just waiting for what do happen. Like, we heard speculation about Christian McCaffrey. Some teams here, some teams there. All right, well, it eventually happens. So if Kamara gonna get moved, they'll probably see how this game go today because every team in the NFC South suck. You know what I'm saying? So if they're in it to win it, then why trade him? He's your main playmaker you got right now.
Yeah, you still have a playoff shot. Why risk that? We had on our morning show, which is 7 to 10 every weekday. This past week, we had Sal Capaccio, who's premier Bills beat reporter. He came on and we asked him about the rumors for the Bills trading running back. He was of the mindset that the Bills, they probably don't really need a running back. They're going to focus on the pass. This is a passing offense. They don't need to go out and spend a bunch of capital on a running back when Devin Singletary fits in this offense pretty well. And they have James Cook, who's a second-round draft pick. They have Zach Moss, who's still there and for some reason still getting carries this season. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually go for this. I would be curious to see what the deal looks like if it actually does end up going through.
I mean, Singletary is on pace to have 79 targets this season. Like, that's his career high by a long shot. And I would hate to see it for Singletary, honestly, because I think he could have a good run towards the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you did last year.
Just from like a selfish NFL fan perspective.
Yeah.
I want to see Alvin Kamara on the Bills. I know we're talking all this stuff, but oh my God, that would be so much fun to add Alvin Kamara to that offense. Like, what? That sounds like cheating. Like, the NFL should just there should be like some anti-monopoly suit filed or something if Alvin Kamara ends up in that offense.
Definitely too good to be true on paper.
Absolutely. We had another question come in here. This one from Brady's a Bluedale. Wanted to know, what's up, fellas? What up, Brady?
Welcome Brady. In. Hey, Brady.
Paris Campbell, Tyler Algier, or Drake London in full PPR. Lawrence, out of Paris Campbell, Tyler Algier, and Drake London, which one are you plugging in a full PPR format?
I'm gonna go Tyler Algier. He'll get the most opportunities out of any of these players. You got the Colts with a new quarterback there, more of a runner there, so you don't really know what you're getting. I understand why he has Paris Campbell here because of what he's done the last 2 games, but that was in a pass-heavy offense with Matt Ryan, who pretty much is statue in the pocket. You're not getting that now. On Drake London's side, these dudes don't throw the damn ball.
Like 3 times a game.
So it's like, cool. Hey, if Drake London have one of them 5 for 75 in the touchdown, you got me. But guess what? You're going to sweat it out because they're only going to throw it 16 times. So I'd rather get the guy who's going to carry the ball 16 times. They could get near the goal line, which they can do against this Carolina defense. Tyler Algier's got the best opportunity out of all 3 of these players, in my opinion.
Tyler Algier from Lawrence. Joe, you agreeing with him? Are you plugging in Algier? Or are you going with one of these other guys?
I'm either going Algier or I'm going Drake London. It's a positive matchup for Drake London. He started off the season very well, and then it's kind of tapered off a bit. It has more to do with the offense than Drake London himself. Yeah. I'm fine starting either of these guys this week.
Joey, do you agree with them, or are you plugging in maybe Paris Campbell?
So, man, it would be Algier for me, but Paris Campbell's second for me. He's had 17 targets ever since that coaching staff talked him up. And Drake London, he's only had one game with over 40 receiving yards and 1 out of the last 5. So I'm a little worried about Drake London. I love Drake London to start the season. I'm hoping that's a get-right game for him today for sure. But I'll play it safe with Algier. So
I think I'm going to go Paris Campbell here. I get what you guys are saying. It's a new quarterback, and usually that's scary. But Paris Campbell's this low average depth of target kind of guy, right? Like he could be a young quarterback's best friend in this offense. Like the one concern is Ellinger just takes off instead of dumping it down to his safety receiver. But I think I'll take that shot on Paris Campbell. I'm a little bit scared of this Falcons offense. One more question from James Martin in here. He wanted to know, would y'all trade Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones for a 2023 first, second, a 2024 first, second, and Breece Hall? So you got 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and Breece Hall for Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones. Lawrence, in a dynasty league, you making this move?
Yeah, run the draft picks, but was it 2 firsts for next year?
So it was a first and a second next year, a first and a second the following year, and Breece Hall for Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones.
That first round pick is nice because the running backs in this draft class coming up are a lot better than the ones that we got in 2022. I wouldn't be, I'll do it. Shake it up. It depends what the rest of the roster look like. If he's got Justin Jefferson and he's thinking about it, trading away Justin Jefferson, he obviously has another player who's solid. Maybe he have a T. Higgins that he feel confident in. We know T. Higgins and Jamar Chase will not be together for much longer. Another year or two with those two together. T. Higgins will go off again. So maybe he has a receiver like that. And if you do, then I'll do it, especially if your team ain't winning right now. If if your team is under 500 right now, you already could see the end of the tunnel for this season. Yeah, do it. But again, this is without seeing the roster. I'm seeing the capital, and I'm thinking about the running backs and receivers. Marvin Harrison Jr. coming out in the next couple of years. So I'll do it.
He's doing it. I think I'm doing that trade as well. Guys, the Broncos just went up in this game. Latavius Murray punching it in. 1:43 to go. Broncos are up 21-17.
Got a game.
Man, Jordan letting us know the attendance for this Broncos-Jaguars game is the largest crowd in the history of the NFL International Series in the UK.
That's right.
And they're getting the game.
You get when you get Russell Wilson, this high-flying offense, and the Jaguars. The high ratings.
They said we don't care. It's more comfortable for them, right? Soccer fans, if the score stays low, if it starts getting up in like the 40s, 50s, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, what's going on?
Well, I know the Khan family, they reduced the pricing on a lot of the tickets in this game because they wanted a big attendance. So they got what they were shooting for. So
absolutely. We had some more questions in here. Brett said with Waller out, he's going to have to drop someone to pick up a tight end to start. He's got Russell Wilson, Tua, and Derek Carr. Probably needs to drop one of those QBs. Joey, who are you dropping if you got to drop one of them?
One more time, it was Russell Wilson,
Derek Carr, and Tua. For me, I think if you can drop Russell, even though he's already started. Some leagues allow you, some leagues don't. Drop Russell, but I don't know what to do after that. What about you, Joey?
Exactly. If you can drop Russell Wilson, if you have to drop one of the other ones, gosh, I just guess drop Carr because I love what Tua's outlook looks like rest of the season.
What just happened?
He to pick up?
Oh, he didn't have a question. He's going to pick up a tight end, but just wanted to know who should they drop. It looks like the Broncos just got a takeaway in this game. Not sure what happened there, but I just looked up and the Broncos had the ball again. Maybe going to close this one out. We'll keep you guys updated on what's going on over there. We had another question in here. This one from Cole.
Intercepted.
Interception. Damn it, Trevor.
Number 21 on the Broncos. I can't see the back.
Yeah, that Broncos that was 13. 13 got the interception. Man, that is the Broncos defense is no joke. Was it number 2?
21.
Number 21.
Oh, my bad. My apologies.
No, you're
Deion
good.
Sanders. Come on, man, get it right.
I'm with you.
You're right.
I'm assuming Surtain because that dude's been flying all over the field this year. Anytime there's a pick, it's like, oh, that was surely Surtain.
That was Williams.
That was Williams, yeah. Davon Williams.
Whole lot of question for us. You want to know Lawrence, maybe help us out with one more question. Start 3, A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, T. Higgins, and Joe Mixon. So really just one of those guys has got to go on the bench. We got another superstar lineup here. So A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra, T. Higgins, and Joe Mixon. Which one are you throwing on the bench?
Joe Mixon. If it's did you say full PPR?
We do not know if it's full PPR, but
I'm gonna act like it is, because that's what most of us play all the time now. And so I done said bench Joe Mixon twice as if it's some easy thing to do. It really ain't.
No.
But if Jamar Chase is playing, I would say bench T. Higgins.
Right.
Absolutely.
You got Amon-Ra St. Brown playing. That's another high expected scoring game right there. Dolphins beat up in the defensive backfield. I got a bench Mixon. He averaged a yard a carry.
Man, it is wild that we've had 2 questions where the answer has been Joe Mixon so far, but that's what we're looking at. And it's not an indictment on Joe Mixon. It's just some killer fantasy teams coming in here. Lawrence, I want to thank you so much for joining us today, my man. Everyone, make sure you check out Lawrence on Twitter at Lord Don't Lose. Lawrence Jackson Jr. works over at NBC Sports Edge, and you can find his work Tuesday. He's got the Roto World Football Show at 1 p.m. Wednesdays, Fantasy Football Happy Hour with Matthew Berry at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And then before Monday Night Football and Thursday Night Football, he's live on the NBC YouTube at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, helping answer your questions. Lawrence, thank you so much, my man. Really appreciate you taking the time to come on with us today.
We love you, Lawrence.
Appreciate y'all having me, man. Y'all boys keep doing y'all thing.
Likewise,
we will do our best, my man. You keep killing it
Appreciate
as well.
you.
Man,
it's so cool.
One of the
freaking
best
love
follows
Lawrence.
for sure.
Yeah.
Go follow Lawrence. Truly one of the best people in this industry.
I got to meet him this year in Canton, Ohio, and it was a total pleasure. He's such a cool guy.
Yeah,
and I've always wanted to stream with him, so I
there you
check
go.
that off the
Check
list.
it off
today.
the bucket list.
Guys, if you have
I can't
more
believe the Broncos are going to win this.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
Wait, so what was it? The Trevor Lawrence quote after they won 2 games? It was something like, people are just going to have to accept the fact that we're a good football team. And then now they're going to lose 6 in a row or something. Like there was a quote where since he said people have to accept that we're a good football team, the Jaguars just aren't winning games anymore.
2
they
and
can't
5.
do it.
That'll be
Guys,
2 and 6.
I see your questions in the chat. If you've got them, please throw them in there. We're going to be answering your questions leading up to kickoff today. Coming up now, Nick Durst is back at MetLife Stadium live, chatting with tailgaters and playing a favorite college pastime. You are listening to Pre-Gaming with Front Yard Fantasy here on Bettor Sports Network.
Nick Durst here, live from MetLife Stadium before the New York Jets and New England Patriots game. And behind me, you see a really intense game of beer pong going on. So why don't we walk over there and see what's going down in that game. Here we go, walking over here. This girl's having a good time. Are you having fun playing beer pong right now?
Yes, we are having a lot of fun.
All right, so you got the White Claws going here. So how you liking this beer pong game?
Am I liking the beer pong game? It's great. Vibes are high. Weather's beautiful. It's a great day for a Pats game.
All right, so what do you expect from the game today from the Patriots?
First, we're expecting to win the pong game, and then we're expecting the Pats to do the same.
So no days off, just nothing but winning.
Yes. You should record this shot. You should.
All right, here we go. Big shot upcoming here. Let's see that. And she missed. Let's go to the other competition here. So we're here with some more Patriots fans.
Hey, how's it going?
So how's it going? How's this beer pong game going right now?
It's going good. We're 1-0, and our backs are against the wall here in Game 2, but we're confident. We think we're going to come back.
So what do you think Bill Belichick's strategy would be in a beer pong game?
I don't know. Cut every teammate that's not fucking a winner.
All right, so there you have it. A lot of tense things going on here at this game. What do you think about the Patriots today? They're gonna bounce back?
I think the Patriots can pull it off today. I think it's a good Jets team, but I got Zappy fever, and I think you should talk to this guy over here.
All right, I think Zappy should probably start as well. So we'll go here over the beer pong game. We'll see how this works out. What are you expecting here from the rest of this beer pong game and also the game today?
So these guys, if you didn't know, are brothers. I got my money on Big Bro, of course. I'm a big brother myself, so at the end of the day, big brothers always win.
All right, so good analysis there. You might have a future in this, analyzing beer pong games. So lots going on here at this tailgate. We also have some more great activities here, and we have a nice little cornhole game going on. So we'll watch this next shot, and he delivers it. Oh, and just a bit wide. And we'll talk to him about that shot to get a breakdown.
Yeah, he started off pretty strong. He's come back. I'm not playing too well right now.
Uh-oh. We'll talk to the competition real quick. We'll see what he has to say about the rest of this cornhole game. What's going to happen?
Head early. I let him get ahead early. I'm a lot better than he is, so all right. Take care of business right
And
now.
we'll end it here with one of your shots. So we'll see here. We'll get another bean. Let's see if he can make it in. Wow. What a way to end the video. So here at MetLife Stadium, cornhole going on, beer pong going on, fans still coming in, Patriots fans very excited. So once again, for Bettor Sports Network, live from MetLife Stadium, I'm Nick Durst.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back into pre-gaming with Front Yard Fantasy here on the Bettor Sports Network, and it is official. The Denver Broncos have taken down the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. Final score of 21-17. Trevor Lawrence throwing a pick at the end of the fourth quarter to secure the victory for the Broncos over there. Man, not what I wanted to see. I just find myself cheering for the Jags. Like, I just like the Jaguars. It's probably because Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne and they're recovering from the Urban Meyer stank, but it hurts my feelings whenever the Jaguars don't do well. I want a good win from them. I want them to be good.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, Simon. I want them to be good too. They're getting there. They're getting there. I like what Doug Peterson is doing this team, and it seems like it's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. It's just got to turn into some more wins. We've got a couple coaches where it seems to be working, Dan Campbell and Doug Peterson, where it's just not quite panning out in the wins column.
It's tough to turn an entire NFL team around on a dime, right? Like, it's tough to turn them around in a single season. So when I look at these new coaches, I'm looking for coaches who are making good moves, even if the result or the outcome is not ideal right now.
Absolutely.
Abel, Peterson, two of the probably best coaches of that example right now.
The table, the results are matching, right? We're seeing them at 6-1 right now. But even if it comes back down to earth, these Giants finish 9-7 or whatever it is, it's going to look all right. Jordan, you're saying your costumes are unreal. Joey really showing us up with the Simon outfit. You just look so hot, Joey. That outfit really accentuates your sexiness.
You can't see it, but to really complete the costume, I am not wearing any pants.
Then how'd you poop in them?
And true, Simon, huh?
Then how'd you poop in them if you're not wearing
Well,
any
that's
pants?
why I took them off.
Oh, gotcha. Of course. Yeah. We poop air about half the shows here on Bettor Sports Network if there's an accident in the first half. You just do what you got to do. It's all for the show.
We're like astronauts. We crap our pants all the time.
Guys, if you're just joining us, a couple reminders about week 8. We are coming up on kickoff for these 1 p.m. games. Want to make sure you guys are ready. Jamar Chase is out, but not on IR. But make sure he's out of your lineups. Those Saints wide receivers, Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry, also out. Chuba Hubbard is out this week. So fire up your Deonta Foreman's. Ezekiel Elliott is officially out, as well as Darren Waller. So those are players that were probably in your lineups. And James Conner out this week as well. So fire up your Eno Benjamins, but know that Darrell Williams was made active this week. So he might see some additional work. Maybe Eno doesn't get as big of a workload as he did last week. We also have 2 rookie quarterbacks making their first start. Sam Ehlinger for the Indianapolis Colts and Malik Willis for the Tennessee Titans. So adjust your receiving ranks accordingly for the players that they're going to be chucking the ball to. We had some questions come in the chat, and everybody watching, if you want your questions answered, throw them in the chat or hit that call in button. Come up on the show. Ask us your questions live. We would love to have you join us. It's on the Bettor Sports Network app. One button. You just hit call in and you'll join us here on the show. Here's the first question, and this one came from Fam First. He wanted to know McLaurin or Foreman in PPR. So Deonta Foreman, running back for the Carolina Panthers, or Terry McLaurin, wide receiver for the Washington Commanders. Joey, which one of those 2 players would you be starting?
Man, that's tough. I'm actually going to go Devonta Foreman. I do like what I saw at him last week. And they're playing the Falcons. So, yeah, it's Foreman for me.
What about you, Joe? You going Foreman or you going McLaurin?
I'm on the other side of this. I'm going Terry McLaurin and going against the Indianapolis Colts. It is a tougher matchup, but Taylor Heineke's under center, and Taylor Heineke like Terry McLaurin.
Taylor Heineke like Terry McLaurin. That's the official analysis. This one's so close. I think I go Foreman just because Chuba's out. Like, that's the tiebreaker. He's guaranteed to get that work, and I just don't have that much trust in this Commanders offense to start Terry over a guy that's going to be a full workhorse running back. But, man, that's a close one. Ben wanted to know, half PPR, one flex, Curtis Samuel, Wan'Dale Robinson, Romeo Doubs, or Tyler Higbee. JL, are you starting Curtis Samuel, Wan'Dale Robinson, Romeo Doubs, or Tyler Higbee in your flex in a half PPR league?
Wan'Dale Robinson, Giants are playing Seattle, I think. Dobbs, Buffalo. We just talked about Washington, Indianapolis. And we don't know if this is PPR, right?
We do not. This is half PPR. So you got that half PPR going on.
Okay. Okay, that does change it slightly because I was going to say Curtis Samuel. But because it's only half PPR, I will go Wan'Dale Robinson.
You stole the words right out of my mouth, you sexy Red Riding Hood. It is Wan'Dale Robinson, but if it was full PPR, I'd go Curtis Samuel. What about you, Joey?
Yep, Wan'Dale Robinson.
CC Sharks. What's up, Sharks? Wants to know 49ers defense or Bills defense. So two of the premier defenses. Joey, which one of those defenses would you be starting this week?
Allow me to scroll over. It's going to be the Buffalo Bills. Man, those are two top 5 defenses for me this week, though. But
the Bills going up against the Packers for everybody watching, and then the 49ers going up against the Rams.
Yeah,
Dale,
Bills
is
defense
it Bills?
feels a little more complete.
Yeah, are you going Bills defense as well, JL?
Yeah, I'm going Bills defense.
Yeah, it's a triple Bills defense here. Tamian wanted to know, start one wide receiver and 2 flex. So really just one of these players needs to be benched. Justin Jefferson, Joe Mixon, Tony Pollard, and I am not sure who that last player is. DAE. Do we know who DAE is? Am I blanking on this one?
DAE. I don't know. I don't know that acronym.
Tamian, we need a little bit more information. You're going to have to let us know who DAE is. Otherwise, that's who I'm going to say to bench because I don't know who that is. Another question in here from Beat It Down wanted to know Deontay Johnson, Darrell Henderson, or Drake London in a standard league. So Deontay Johnson, Darrell Henderson, or Drake London, non-PPR. Joey, where are you going in this one?
I'm probably going to go Deontay on this. Yeah, he's a spot behind Wan'Dale Robinson for me. And none of those other guys are even close to that level. So,
no, it's not. Darrell Henderson's the other one that I'm considering, but it's not close. So I'm going to go Deontay Johnson as well. What about you, JL?
Standard or non-PPR, I would go Darrell Henderson.
Darrell Henderson, plugging the running back in. Makes sense. Also, Jordan here in the chat wanted to know Kareem Hunt, Damian Pierce, or Tony Pollard in the flex spot. Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard. You guys going Tony Pollard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, I feel like we just keep saying bench Damian Pierce. He's going to have a day.
He's going to have it. Like, I like Damian Pierce. Who's your flex, Jordan? Oh, this is for your flex. Who are your starting running backs then? If you've got Damian Pierce and Tony Pollard on the bench, let us know who your starting running backs are, because I imagine you can probably fit them in there. Essie had a question for us. What's up, Essie? Wanted to know, I played Edwards on Thursday, so I am behind. Ooh, the classic get behind on Thursday. Gus Edwards said, now I have Lockett on, but he seems injured. Should I risk it and play him or play Wan'Dale Robinson or Brandon Cooks? So Wan'Dale Robinson or Brandon Cooks over Tyler Lockett. Would you be making that move?
No, it's Lockett for me.
Yeah, it's Lockett for me as well. It is a tougher matchup against the Giants. Who'd have thunk? But yeah, I'll go Lockett here.
Yeah. Also, Jordan saying Hunt and ETN. Bench Kareem Hunt.
Bench
and get
Hunt.
Damian Pierce and Tony Pollard in there is what I would be doing, Jordan. Jordan. Steven in here want to know, hey guys, looking for some thoughts on my flex spot. Well, hopefully we have thoughts. They don't always come to us, but we should be able to oblige. Full PPR. George Pickens versus Wan'Dale Robinson. So this has been a popular one today. The battle of these rookie wide receivers. Joey, which one of these rookies, George Pickens on the Steelers or Wan'Dale Robinson on the Giants, would you be plugging in a full PPR league?
I've been on the Pickens side of this. I don't necessarily like the matchup for him, but I think he's the wide receiver 1 for the Steelers now. I think he's past Deontay Johnson on my mind.
Joe, what about you? Are you going Pickens or Wan'Dale here?
I'm going Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah, I think I'm going Wan'Dale Robinson in this
Very
one
close.
as well.
Very
It is close. And if you've got both those guys on your roster, get ready for an exciting second half of the fantasy season. You're probably going to be happy with both of those players. Wambly in here. What's up, Wambly? Said pick 3 in PPR. Well, we got some good names on this list. Kenneth Walker, Brian Robinson, Ramondre Stevenson, DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Najee Harris, and James Robinson.
Yeah.
So we got to pick 3 of these guys. Let's lock some in. Kenneth Walker, I feel
Kenneth
like
Walker's a lock.
You're starting Kenneth Walker no matter what. Are there any other locks in this list that you guys are looking at? Is Ramondre Stevenson a lock? Is Najee Harris a lock? Those are the 2 that jump out at me. Is Brian Robinson a lock? Joey?
I think Ramondre is a lock. So those would be my 2 locks out of all these names.
DJ Moore would be a lock for me.
Okay, so DJ Moore's my 3rd guy. So he's
PPR, keep in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm with you guys. I hate all the agreement. I wanted to have a different opinion here, but we've got Kenneth Walker, Ramondre Stevenson, and DJ Moore as the 3 we would start. I see Jay in the chat saying, did someone say Brian Dable? Yeah, you can just start calling Giants fans into the chat by saying Dable over and over again. They just start showing up in droves. Miles wants to know, should I start Ramondre Stevenson or Jonathan Taylor? Joey, would you be starting Ramondre Stevenson or Jonathan Taylor?
Jonathan Taylor.
I love questions like this where it's like, wow, if we had only known, we'd be asking this in week 8. It's Jonathan Taylor.
Is it close or not too close?
Semi-close. I mean, closer than I would have thought years ago. Weeks
closer
ago.
Closer than you would have thought when you drafted Jonathan Taylor first overall and Ramondre Stevenson in the 9th round.
We got Taylor at RB11, and then Raheem Mostert's behind him, then Damian Pierce, then Dalvin Cook, and then Ramondre Stevenson.
What are the expectations for Jonathan Taylor at the end of this season? Like, he was drafted number 1 overall in most leagues, expected to be the number 1 overall running back. It's been disappointing so far, but Joey, is he still top 12 RB, top 5, top 10? What are you expecting from him?
I think he is top 12 running back. I think a lot determines of what the Colts do this offseason. If they bring in a competent quarterback, I think Jonathan Taylor could end up being a draft day like bargain because he's going to go later, definitely, than he was last year. Definitely. He's not going to be RB1 again.
No, it's just been a little bit disappointing if you drafted him, but he's still Jonathan Taylor. He's still great out there. This question came from Zero Laws. This man plays by nobody's rules, except for maybe ours if we tell him who to start. Pittman or Aaron Jones, PPR. JL, lay down the law on Zero Laws here. Who's he starting?
All right, here's the law. I'm about to lay it down. It's Aaron Jones. You got to start Aaron Jones this week. Yeah. He's Michael Pittman. Listen, either of these guys are a good start. Either of these guys, nobody's going to make fun of you for starting them because they're top talent, right? They're top talent. You got them probably in the 2nd to 4th round region. And that's right about where they're living. The difference for me is Michael Pittman's got a rookie quarterback under center today, Sam Ehlinger. And so it's a little bit more risk than Aaron Jones. It's a little more risk than I'm willing to take. If you want to go the high upside play, Michael Pittman's matchup is much better than Aaron Jones' matchup. So I'm fine going Pittman, but I would go Aaron Jones without knowing all that information about your team.
And JLJ wants to know, why do you sound like Macho Man?
Macho Man. I don't know who that is. So can't tell you.
You just broke Joey's heart not knowing who that was. It's Jail. He's from Joey's favorite book, Anne of Green Gables. He's one of the
Anne of Green Gables.
Yeah, Macho Man is one of the protagonists in Anne of Green Gables, and
there's so much Randy Savage slander on this show. Is
that related to Clark Gable?
Yeah, we're directly related to Clark Gable. Jail, you got it. It's okay. Cool. See, Joe, you don't have to worry anymore. Okay. Jail knows who Macho Man is now. We had another question in here. Well, Joey, before we go on, are you starting Michael Pittman or Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones. With Alan Lazard out, I wouldn't be surprised to see Aaron Jones lead the team in targets today.
Yeah, I'm starting Aaron Jones as well. The rookie quarterback's going to scare me away entirely. Clamped EZ wants to know, pick 3. Joe Mixon, easy. Maybe it shouldn't have been so easy, Clamp.
Don't say clamped.
Listen, I got clamped. Thanksgiving Eve 2 years ago. It was pretty easy.
It was pretty easy.
That was a vasectomy joke. You're welcome, guys.
Yeah, it took me a second. I realized it as I said, pretty easy. Wants to know, pick 3: Joe Mixon, Tony Pollard, Aaron Jones, and Ramondre Stevenson. So we got an optimist. He's saying start 3. We got to bench one of these: Joe Mixon, Tony Pollard, Aaron Jones, Ramondre Stevenson. Joey, which one are you benching? JL, which one are you benching?
I'm benching Aaron Jones. Just talked about how I just picked Aaron Jones and talked him up, but out of this group, it's Aaron Jones. It's going against Buffalo. It's by far by far the hardest matchup of these guys here. And yeah, I think they're gonna have to end up throwing a lot in that game too. So I'd much rather bench Aaron Jones here. Take Pollard, take Mixon, take Stevenson. Enjoy your win.
I agree with the Hood.
The Hood.
JL the Hood. That's your new name. That's your superhero
The
name.
Macho Hood.
Joe, I keep trying to place what it looks like is under your head, but it looks like you've got like an old timey, like very fancy hairdo that you have a hood on over.
Oh my god, I didn't know that was you.
It's me.
You look
the
like
way
a
that the hood was
fancy, like
hanging. Yeah.
medieval boy or something with like you got like fancy,
Medieval
like powdered
boy.
wig on underneath, and one day you're just gonna
Vulture head.
reveal it.
The way the hood was just hanging there a little bit, it was like secret society, like the Wicker Man, like they meet in the shadows at
Padme.
night to discuss what they're going to do through the community, you know?
Yeah. I'm Natalie Portman with a beard.
Just like Natalie Portman with a beard, JL. Jolly Rancher in the chat saying JL is just adorable. You're so
Just
awesome.
adorable. Nothing else.
Nothing else. Just adorable. Yeah, I'm benching Aaron Jones in this question as well. Sorry, Clamped. We got distracted by how cute JL was, but I'm going to answer Aaron Jones here as well. Throw him on the bench. Finally, Joe Mixon getting the start that he probably deserves after we said to bench him in a couple other questions.
Yeah.
Alec had another question in here for us. Before we answer that, though, I want to remind everyone, we're going to be on here up until kickoff at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So if you have more questions for us, there's two ways you can get them answered. You can type them in the chat. We'll be glad to answer them on air, or hit that call-in button and join us on air to ask your question or give us your take for this week. Alec had a question for us. Wanted to know, Alec wanted to know Devontae Adams or Kenneth Walker in PPR. So Joey, Devontae Adams, who's questionable with an illness but expected to play, or Kenneth Walker, starting running back, rookie for the Seattle Seahawks. Who are you starting this week?
Why do you have to pick between those two?
Right.
Oh my god.
What kind of team do you have, Alec?
Find a way to get them both in your lineup. I'm going to play Adams over Walker, but we're going to help you move your lineup around. There's no way that these are your two worst options for this. Or
Alex says my team is nuts. My team is
nuts. I'm going. This is an easy Kenneth Walker for me. This is an easy Kenneth Walker.
Alec, I don't know why that got me so bad. Just comes in. My team is nuts. Like I imagine it like a cartoon squirrel saying it, just like so excited, like over the hedge. The cartoon squirrel from Over the Hedge, just getting so excited. Also, Joey J is a not.
I saw him say you didn't got to bring it up. Like
Joey was dressed as Michael Moore.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you should watch some Michael Moore documentaries, Jay. Might learn a few things.
Oh my god, that's incredible! Got him!
Oh, right in there.
Jay has a question for us. So, Michael Moore, we'll throw this one to you first.
He's gonna be
James
like, not
Robinson,
anymore.
Damian Harris, or Kareem Hunt, PPR. Who are you starting? James Robinson, new team. He's with the New York Jets this week. Damian Harris seems like he's taking a back seat to Ramondre Stevenson for the New England Patriots, even though he's back. Or Kareem Hunt playing on Monday night, but potentially getting traded. Joey, which of these three players would you be plugging in?
Damian Harris for me. Oh wait, no. It would be Kareem Hunt. They are back to back, but that's how close it was.
What about you, JL?
Yeah, between Harris and Hunt, it's pretty even. I think I would lean. Damian Harris.
I'm
I'm gonna
interested to see
lean-
what happens with James Robinson in New York.
too.
I think he might get outplayed by another running back this year.
Let's see what happens with James Robinson before we plug him into our lineups. I'm with you guys, but I'm going to plug in Kareem Hunt. It just seems like they want this to be the Ramondre Stevenson show. Like it just seems like that's how this offense has been going. But Bill Belichick has tricked me before with his running backs. Billy B. Billy B. Did you guys during the Nick Durst break? They asked how would Bill Belichick manage his beer pong partners? JL, how would Bill Belichick manage his beer pong partners? What's going to happen when Billy B runs the beer pong team in New England?
I think he'd snap. I think that would be the last straw, and he would snap and smash the table, pant you, and then walk away.
That's the end of Billy B's career. Is they try to make him a beer pong coach, and he's just out of there.
Yeah,
he pulls
100%.
like a Charles Woodson, or who's the coach for Ohio State that punched a Clemson player? Do you remember that? It was
No.
Woody Hayes. I've got the newspaper here somewhere of that title, but you think Billy B coaching beer pong pulls a Woody Hayes?
Maybe.
I think Bill. Go ahead, Joe.
I said maybe. Good.
Oh, I think Bill Belichick goes out and finds the greatest beer pong player in the world and then takes credit for it.
Maybe. That's all I say.
All of a sudden,
Maybe.
this dude pulls up. It's like Bill Belichick finds like the 17-year-old with glasses, like this nerdy little dude comes out, and you're like, who the hell is this guy? Whereas like there's like these massive bros playing on the other side, and it's just the beer pong savant that he picked up, like just roaming a college campus beginning of the year. He found him.
Shout out Bob Lung. This is basically what Bob Lung did for the cornhole tournament in Canton this year. He went out and found himself a ringer, although Bob was excellent as well. But the guy sank like, I don't know, is it what they call them, bags? He sank like 9 bags in a row.
Nailed it.
It was
Guys,
incredible.
we had a question come in here from Lucius with the super chat. Thank you so much, Lucius. We really appreciate it. He wants to know half PPR, Michael Pittman, Devonta Smith, Brandon Ayuk, or Ramondre Stevenson. So Joey, Michael Pittman, Devonta Smith, Brandon Ayuk, or Ramondre Stevenson in half PPR. Who are you
I'm
plugging
going to
in?
go Smith and Stevenson. We need 2, you said?
Just one, it looks like. Just
Oh,
need
it
to
would be
start
Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith. I love Devonta Smith this week. I understand Stevenson, but I really like Devonta Smith's in my FanDuel lineup today. So,
What about you, JL?
Yeah, I'd go Devonta Smith too.
Devonta Smith, but Joey, it sounds like maybe for both you guys, if you needed a second, it would be Ramondre Stevenson.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That would be your second one over there, Lucius. See, we had another question come in here from Super C and B. Wanted to know this one was Michael Pittman, Tyler Boyd, Chris Olave, or Devonta Smith. I'm going to assume this is going to be another Devonta Smith, or does Olave change this one for you?
Olave does change this for me. I have him as a top 10 wide receiver today. I mentioned that the Raiders have allowed every quarterback that's played him this year to be a QB1. Olave is going to be a lot of parts of Andy Dalton being the QB1 this week. A QB1, not the QB1. Sorry, slip there. Oh boy,
the A QB1. You're not calling Andy Dalton number 1 overall scoring quarterback.
No, he's not.
Say it
He's
out
got
loud,
number
Joey.
2 right
No
now.
one will remember if you're wrong, but if you're right, then we can clip it for all eternity.
Okay, yeah, Andy Dalton QB1, 400 yards passing today, 4 touchdowns. You heard it here.
400 yards passing.
5,000 yards passing and 17 touchdowns to Chris Olave. Jail, are you going Chris Olave or are you going Devonta Smith out of these guys?
Just picking one, I'm going to go Chris Olave. Yeah, against the Las Vegas Raiders.
It's exciting for Olave.
It is exciting for Olave, and especially with Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry still out. It's got to go somewhere. Oh, I hate saying that. Why did I say it? Joseph in here had a question for us. Wanted to know, in a PPR league, Brandon Cooks versus Tennessee today or Amon-Ra St. Brown versus Miami? Amon-Ra for me. I'm throwing Amon-Ra in there. He's the dude. What about you, Joey?
I'm going to the Church of St. Brown today.
Church of St. Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. And I'm starting Amon-Ra St. Brown.
They have lovely missions in San Antonio. You should go visit them.
They do have lovely missions. The Alamo, I'm going to be honest, it's a little overrated.
Lame.
It's a bit underwhelming. You can see a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum from the entrance to the Alamo. It kind of kills the effect. But the other missions, top tier. You can hop on a bike, ride down the missions trail, and they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool down there to go tour the other one.
Favorite thing I did in San Antonio was going to the missions.
We had another question in here. George said, Jags D failed me, gentlemen. Went in, picked up Minnesota since they have the Commanders next week. How are we feeling about the Minnesota defense going up against Washington next week? Joe, are you happy with that one?
Yeah, if the Jags defense was your option before this, I like Minnesota against the Commanders a lot more.
Joe, what about you? Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I think that's fine. I haven't looked that hard at next week's defensive rankings schedule, so I'll have more information this week. But I think that's a solid pick. Washington has got Taylor Heineke and solid target for defenses.
Arr. That's my official answer to that question. In my mind, a Viking was a pirate all of a sudden, and I was like, I'm just going to answer this question because we're talking about the thing I'm dressed up as. They're different things entirely.
Yeah, the Vikings have that
Buccaneers
long
Pirates.
Right, that's the Viking.
Joey, are Buccaneers pirates? Is it just like another word for the same thing, or is a Buccaneer like a specific type of pirate?
Buccaneers are the most annoying types of pirates. I say this as someone that's been to Gasparilla a couple times in the Tampa Bay area. they're like drunk pirates, and they like to wear beads, and they don't ever come to their team's games. Yeah, so not a big fan of Buccaneers.
SC in here had an interesting question for us. Wanted to know DeAndre Hopkins above or below 15 half PPR fantasy points today. So it's supposed to be a high-scoring game there against Minnesota. Joey, over under 15 half PPR fantasy points for Hopkins. Where are you going?
I'm gonna say over. He had what, like 14 targets last week? He looked phenomenal, and that's a touchdown and what, 60 yards plus 3 receptions. Yeah, I think he can easily get that today.
Jill, what about you?
I think in PPR, it's likely half PPR or lower. It's close. It's close. I think that's more or less around where his line is.
I went to look at my DeAndre Hopkins notes, and it just says DeAndre Hopkins is the. So apparently, I didn't finish that thought when I was taking notes earlier.
He is the guys. No, I'll take the over. I think DeAndre Hopkins has one hell of a game today. Guys, if you're just joining us right now, a quick rundown of some of the biggest inactives for today that you need to make sure are out of your lineup. Jamar Chase is out for 4 to 6 weeks, but not on IR. Darren Waller officially out today. Alan Lazard is also out, so you're going to have to make other plans if he was in your lineup. Ezekiel Elliott officially out. He was doubtful coming into today, but he is officially on the inactive report. So fire up your Tony Pollards, and James Conner is out today as well. So James Conner will not be playing. We had a question in here. Come in, 8-man PPR, need a tight end. I have Pitts and Schultz, but the waiver wire is Hurst, Gesicki, Irv, Henry, Ingram, Knox, and so on. Would you guys be picking up one of those players with Pitt and Schultz on your lineup? Joey, which one would you be picking up?
It's crazy to carry 3 tight ends, but I do like Ingram or Hurst being on your team until we see it from Pitts and Schultz. I mean, it's tough.
What about
Hurst
you, Jay?
It's Hurst. I would rather play Hurst. Out of all of these guys this week, I'm starting Hurst.
Daggers had a question in here. Half PPR tight end premium flex 1, Evan Ingram, Gesicki, Jawan Johnson, or Harrison Bryant. Well, you're a little late on Evan Ingram. He already played. So if he's not in your lineup, you're not going to be able to get him in there. It's Jawan Johnson for me with Adam Troutman being out. What about you guys?
Absolutely, Jawan.
I think I'd do Gesicki. I think I'd do Gesicki going against Detroit in the high over-under game.
I understand.
We had another question in here. Is Dulcich worth holding on to? Have Kelsey, but I'll take a 7 line any day of the week. So if you have Kelsey, are you holding Dulcich?
Yes. Dulcich might be somebody you're looking to trade big time. If you can get a good piece, because teams are tight end needy right now.
I'd trade. I would be trading right now. If you have Kelsey, he's on his bye this week, and so next week he'll be past his bye. And if you're never going to start Dulcich in your flex, go ahead and try and trade him.
Yeah.
If it's redraft.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. This was pre-gaming with Front Yard Fantasy. Coming up here on Bettor Sports Network is a live action watch party and hangout featuring fans calling in and chatting in real time. It is the Bettor Zone with Tom Casale and Holden Kushner from 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern time today. So make sure you guys are hanging out here on Bettor Sports Network all day. And if you enjoyed what we are doing right here, head on over to our YouTube channel at Front Yard Fantasy. Hit that subscribe button and you can get more Pirate action, Red Riding Hood action, and Simon Grunewald action from Joey Wright. Simon, any final Simon words before we end the show?
No. I'm still dealing with that Michael Moore comment. It cut me deep. It cut me really, really deep.
Guys, enjoy your week 8. We're out of here, and we will see you Monday morning at 7 a.m.